Yo, what's up, everybody? I have to apologize before we get into the video. I should have triple checked the audio coming from my friend's side of things, and I didn't, so they come out sounding a bit robotic. Again, I apologize for that. I hope you still give this a listen, watch it. It's greatly appreciated. But as for this video, we started a new Dynasty League, and this just goes over the draft. It was probably about 2 weeks ago now, so it's been a bit of time, but we have some bits of information in there, I think, that could help you in your Dynasty leagues. So again, if you listen, watch, greatly appreciated. Have a good one. Okay, so when did we actually finish this up? It's probably been about 2 weeks now, huh?
Like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, in this one, compared to our other league, the only difference being what we upped the tight end premium to we actually have a tight end premium, I should say, to what the 0.25. And then we took away the defense and then added another flex spots.
Yeah.
Which I like. I was waiting to do that, and I'm happy we did it.
Especially if you're not doing like a defense or anything like that, you could have something there to.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I wouldn't just want to eliminate the defense and have nothing there. So yes, I feel the same. But yeah, Shame and Glory version 2. I think I'm gonna like this one.
Yeah, I feel like we should give it a new name. Like we have Shame and Glory, but then we should have something, something different. I don't think we have. Like, it needs to be a carbon Shame and Glory. You know, it could be, depression and glory. I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but play on words. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I'll try to think of something actually. If you guys can think of something, we could try that. Like like a different version, like the same meaning of. I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Like some depression and enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
But we can try to think about that. So.
But yeah, basically same thing. 12 teams. At least in that respect. We did have different people in this one. A few different people. Oh, where's my phone beeping at me? Shut up. It's just letting me know about that. Okay. All right. Turning that off. But yeah, we got a few new people, and yeah, it's a nice little shake up.
Yeah, it's nice playing different people too, because we're so used to, especially the three of us playing with against the same people all the time that are in our redraft league and in our virtual dynasty. So it's nice to have some new people. So
I feel the same exact way. Cause yeah, it does like I love like our little group, like having what we done for all those years. But it's nice to have a few different people. Cause yeah, not playing the same exact people all the time. That's why like I'm really just in like I'm just trying like I think next weekend I'll probably end up joining another one. Not one that I run, but I think I'm gonna go join someone's like this dude on Facebook posts all the time how he fucking runs one. So I think I'm gonna just join one of those.
I feel it. I'm in 6 leagues, so I understand.
It's addicting, dude. Like I'll be up in the middle of the night and shit, just like trying to think of like trades, even though I like won't even send them most of the time. I'm just like thinking of trades, like in my head, like, oh, could I do this? Do I want to do this? Would they accept this?
Yeah, dude. It's the different groups that you play in. You'll see like the different strategies and
that's getting to know everybody and how they think and how they want to operate. Yes, that's another aspect that I'm really enjoying about this.
Yeah, because not every draft's going to be the same.
Well, no, and this one, what you're saying, this being different, this is definitely a draft that was different because, and we'll get to it, and I'm sure people who are watching or anybody who does watch can see from what's on the screen here how shit played a little bit. But yeah, we'll get started here actually. kind of just knocked through. I mean, the first round's not really too much different from a lot of mocks that I've seen. The only difference I would probably say is Tyreek Hill, just because he is a little bit older, and you could definitely get him a little bit later. But I'm not gonna really knock it. It's Tyreek Hill. If you can get Tyreek Hill, and he said what, he'll play for another 2 years or some shit, I think he was saying, but you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He could be in the league for another 3-4 years and be a top 5 wide receiver, basically the number one, like he's practically been. So you can't really hate on that too much.
You can
Nah.
see by his like what his build, like what he has for his team. He's definitely like a win now guy. Like you got Derrick Henry, you got Najee, you got James Conner down that list there, Sutton, Lockett. Like he's definitely like thinking like, hey, I can make a run this year. So Tyreek's a beautiful choice for that. So
And he's the one, kind of spoilers, I guess, because I don't really have him anymore, but he ended up making that trade with me for Hollywood. So now he has Hollywood.
now he also has Hollywood. So yeah, it's the one trade that we have that he's got now a good wide receiver too. He's got some young guys. He's got Mitchell. He's got Coleman that he drafted. So
The Najee's
um,
not too old.
Nah, you could
Najee, yeah,
definitely he'll like, if he doesn't end up with the Steelers again, if he doesn't end up with the Steelers again, he'll sign somewhere and play. Like he's not gonna go away like in the next, like, just because he's not with the Steelers, you know?
Agreed.
But all right, let's kind of go down the line here. So Hurts was the 101, Jefferson, Allen, Hill, Mahomes, Stroud, Jackson, Burrow, Caleb, Lamb, Brown, and Chase. So who you went with Mahomes there, Brownie, and you were you thinking quarterback there the whole time, or was
I
it
wasn't. I was like, so like the first 3 rounds, it was all just like, if this is like, I will not take this type of player if this guy is still on the board. And
okay?
for me, it was Mahomes or Josh Allen. But like
Okay,
Josh Allen was taken third.
so quarterbacks was basically still your like go-to there.
Yeah, like Mahomes, he's gonna be the guy for 10 more years at
Gotcha.
least. Like you can't not pass up on him. And then that was my, and we can talk about round 2 and 3 too. That was my like
Yeah, we'll get
Brees
there.
Hall dropping to 2. Like, damn, I gotta take him. Then Taylor with 3. So yeah, we can
Yeah, we'll
talk
get
about
there.
it a
We'll
little
get
bit.
there.
But yeah,
So no wide
but
receiver really didn't crop into your mind, like, hey,
I
like if Jefferson fell to you, like, because most times in a lot of these, a lot of the drafts like ours, like how our setup is, wide receivers tend to fall, it seems, to where you're at, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Like you'll see a string like the first like few, or basically it goes Josh Allen, Mahomes, or inverse orders, Stroud, Hurts, you inverse whatever. Like it's mainly those top 4, it seems like, and then they rattle off 4 wide receivers. So it definitely could
yeah.
have been a wide receiver there for you. If it was Justin Jefferson, would you have went Jefferson?
Honestly, I think I would have gone Chase.
You would
Or
have.
even CD Lamb. Like I really liked Chase, but Mahomes was there, and I
Well, at the
was like,
105, you had the chance to get Jamar Chase. So
I had a chance to get Chase, but I was like, if Mahomes, like I said, if Mahomes wasn't there, I probably would have gone Chase, or I would have gone CD Lamb.
okay, I get what
So
you're
I would
saying.
have.
If you didn't have the
I
opportunity,
love,
I got you. Okay, I get
yeah,
what
I
you're
love
saying.
Jefferson too. This year might be a bit of a like see what happens here, but
Hmm.
I mean Chase has the best quarterback in the league. CD Lamb just did a number. He was not wide receiver one with Dak last
Yeah,
year, so.
yeah.
Like, if you're trying to like do something a little bit now, do something a little bit later, those are 2 guys that you want to have. And then I probably would go with Jefferson, and then so on and so forth.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of Chase, Dan, you got Jamar Chase at the end of the first round. How you feeling about that? Well, actually, here we could just talk about both your picks here: Jamar Chase, and then followed by Christian McCaffrey. 2 very good picks.
Yeah, I can't believe Chase actually fell that far.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I think Caleb Williams. I think Burrow, Caleb, got kind of sliding into the first round there. Had him slide for you.
yeah, that's why I like originally I was the 10th pick, but I traded my brother straight back to the 12th because I wanted both picks. And
Oh yeah, back to backs. Yeah, I feel that.
yeah, so I guess that's what gave me the opportunity to get CMC too. because I just had back-to-back picks on whatever I wanted. So I kind of went with, young receiver and an older back, but at least I'll have CMC for another like 2 to 3 years, and he's going to be a top quality back.
Oh yeah, he's CMC. You ain't got to worry about that motherfucker not putting up points.
Exactly. So.
Oh, are we doing F-bombs? Like, we on YouTube, Twitch? What are you doing here?
I could bleep them out. It don't matter as long as you're not dropping
Okay.
them super heavy. It's not an issue.
Gotcha. So we've already had a few. I just want to say we've had a few.
Yeah, if you're not just cussing all the time, you're fine. That was the first one. That's the first time we swore. So, well, I swear a lot.
That's okay. No, I didn't talk more than anybody. I was like, wait.
I mean, you gotta get hyped on McCaffrey. Like when you talk about Christian McCaffrey and what he does in fantasy football, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the dude just does it every single year. Besides him, like when he gets injured, and I mean, you really can't help that.
No, you can't help that at all. There's nothing you can do about that.
He's just amazing. He's been the guy, practically like the 101, if like not the 102 most times. Like since he's been in the league, it's crazy.
I got a question.
Well, in redrafts, I should say.
Yeah, I got a question though. Dan, what made you take McCaffrey over Bijan? Because you could say Bijan could be
It's a good
the
question.
next McCaffrey as far as how much workload he's gonna get. Arthur Smith isn't there, so yeah, just Wither, and this might be his breakout season right here. What made you take CMC? Is like the proven like, hey, he's gonna be the guy, even if it's only 2 more years. And Bijan still, we don't know what it's gonna be.
It's a little mixture of, well, Bijan's really not proven. I mean, it's more of a speculation on his talent, which I don't think is the wrong call, regardless. I don't think that I could have lost going one way or the other. I just went with McCaffrey for consistency, and his team is way better than Atlanta. So, I mean, their offensive line's really not that great either. So, CMC got a better O-line, better team, better quarterback, just a better situation.
Oh, most definitely the better situation for sure.
And with more situations, I mean, with that arises better opportunity. So CMC just naturally has the better opportunity than Bijan. Also, I feel like Bijan's going to get hurt this season because he's going to be used.
Shit.
So,
yo, why was I thinking the same thing?
Yeah, like
it's bad, but I was thinking that.
Yeah, I really think that he's just going to get, like, something bad's going to happen to him he's going to be overused. That's all it is. So.
Yeah, I kind of have a bad feeling about that too. And I don't know where that, like, because it doesn't really, like, stem from anything, like me remembering him being injured or anything like that. Because I've said it before, I don't really pay attention to college too much. So if he got injured in college, I really don't know anything about it. So I don't know where this feeling stems from.
It's just that he's the offense now. It's gonna run through him and Drake London. So
hell yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get he's gonna basically be the guy that opens up Drake London, and they're just gonna pound the ball until they stack the box. So he'll get way more touches than CMC, I feel, but just the consistency of a better line
and the efficiency of CMC is just
it's just too good.
I kind of feel it there. Like that's a really good question because you could go either way there. Like Bijan being like supposed to be the next big he's supposed to be basically the next CMC, really.
Exactly.
And but it's only been 1 year, and I mean when you can already get the CMC and you can have him for the next 3 years, probably maybe even longer, and still get hella good production from him. I think I'd probably lean CMC as well, if I had to be honest.
I would probably lean Bijan just because when he's younger, when for Dynasty.
Yeah.
I would make a CMC this year definitely.
It's so close, like really just.
Yeah, but like if I'm looking down the line, I'm like Bijan's gonna be there for like at least being that kind of guy. And he was the RB7 last year, and that's still with 50-some% of the snaps. So I think
Was he RB7?
He was up there. He's still.
He was RB12 last year.
RB12,
which isn't bad. That's not bad.
That's not bad. I mean, he got 200 touches his rookie year.
And they
Yeah,
did their offense was not very good, so it's not like he really had much help in that regard. Like, I mean,
yeah, like it was a bad offense overall. I think with Cousins opening it up a little bit, I think he'll get a little more. And plus, he's just going to get more work just because. Oh, I figured out this is not going to be in there. So I think he's gonna break out. I think he's gonna be like a top 3 running back this year. I also think CMC this year could be that like it's still right there. So it's for this year. It's a toss up. I just think Bijan long term. I probably would take him over CMC.
See, like I'm speculating, like even like next year, that'll be like what Bijan entering his prime. Um, the way I think about it is, I get even though McCaffrey's older, he's still putting up what like 20 fantasy points a game. So like even at like older end CMC, I'm probably getting prime Bijan production out of him.
I mean, CMC's a unicorn. I mean, that dude could probably go 5 more years and be at least very productive, or at least productive in fantasy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But
he's like
Bijan
one
is
of
also
those guys.
another animal. He's huge, and it really depends on how they use him because they don't have to beat him to death, but I feel like they're just gonna beat him to death.
Yeah, I think he's still getting like some of the goal line stuff. He's still gonna get a ton of receiving work, dump offs. Like
Yeah, that's what
Purdy's like
like
they're a
the
very
offense.
situational team, so yeah.
Yeah,
Plus you don't know about any of the receivers. Like you don't know about Ayuk, you don't know about Debo. CMC could end up just taking over that offense, being better than
yeah,
they were last year. So you never know.
but yeah, I like the Bijan pick too. I think that was a really good pick right after me. I mean,
no,
there's
you really
no way I
can't
wasn't
go
taking him
wrong
on
with
the
either
crack.
one.
Yeah, I mean, if CMC was gone, I probably would have took Bijan.
And CMC definitely could have been gone. But
Oh yeah,
let's get let's start moving on here because yeah, I mean
yep.
really it's that close. You can't go wrong with either. All right, but after that we got Tua, Jordan Love, the rookie Marvin Harrison Jr.,
I
Anthony
think that was too
Richardson,
early.
a little early for Harrison.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a reach.
Okay, we'll get back to that. And Gibbs, we got at the 207. Then Brownie here with Brees Hall, Justin Herbert, Porta, and Brown, and finishing with Puka. All right, so before we get to Brown, why do you feel Harrison went a little early there? Who would you drafted if you had to pick a wide receiver there? Who do you think you would have picked over Harrison Jr.? Or if you would have went wide receiver, would that have been the guy?
I probably would have took AJ Brown
AJ Brown? Okay.
if I could have because he was there. I mean, even you can go Jameer Gibbs or Brees Hall. I really like those backs because they're catching out of the backfield.
Okay.
Um, if you wanted to go quarterback, you could have probably have gone. I don't know, reached and grabbed Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't have hated it, but I wouldn't have loved it either.
I mean,
But
at
yeah,
that
I
point,
mean,
you probably just at that point you kind of if you want to go a Jaden Daniels type, you'd probably just you could look at Averich right there. I mean,
exactly. I just think it was a little too early. I think he would have dropped to 3 or 4,
right?
round wise. I mean, it's not a bad pick. It's
No,
just an
definitely
early.
not. Definitely not.
It's just an early pick, if that makes any sense.
Because his value alone right now, it kind of warrants like him being around that area.
Right. I mean, who would you rather have in that spot? Like, if you were going to choose out of AJ Brown, Puka Nakua, or Marvin Harrison Jr., who would you rather take?
Ooh, see me because I love both AJ Brown and Puka Nakua, and yeah, fuck. That's a really hard. That's a tough one.
I feel like you could have
Mm,
got that and Harrison on the crackback.
what do you say, Brown? Maybe your answer will help me because this one's a
I'm
stumper for me.
I'm
It's hard.
taking Harrison easy over
Easy.
Brown
Oh,
easy.
woo. Okay.
Once in a generation talent. The dude's
Yeah.
been taken first overall in the draft, in the rookie draft. I think he's drafted exactly where he should be. you can make a case for Brown and Nakua now, especially Nakua, who just has
Yeah, I would feel
one of the best
Nakua
rookie
over
seasons.
Brown.
He's got the youth there. But Harrison is just he's his dad's son. He's just even at Ohio State. He was just just doing stuff. You're like, yep, he already should be in the pro. He should have been in the pros last year. He could probably play in the pros last year. He is a very very good talent, and he's got a good quarterback. He's got Kyler throwing it to him. He's what Kyler did with like D Hop and some of the guys there before. So I think he can be maybe not initially like right off the bat like, hey, he's going to be the wide receiver one. I think he's already a wide receiver too, and he's going to be top 15 receiver every year for the next up until probably he's 30. He's like what 21, 22. So 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, I think
He's gonna
he's
be right
22 or
there.
something like that.
He he's about as sure of a bet as any
Is he?
other rookies
Oh,
at least.
21. That's okay. There you go.
Yeah, I think he's a sure, and he's just and he's rookie, so it's just like it's very like I said, unproven. Like I put him in his own tier.
See, that's
Like
why
I
I like
honestly,
Nakua. Like, it makes it tough for me because Nakua, like, he already had a record-breaking rookie year. Like,
yeah,
and it's just,
I
It's
do I
still
it's
like
hard
it?
for me. Yeah,
The
I was gonna say it's hard
Nakua
for me.
Harris is the one where I really come in, and I feel like it would be a toss up between them, just because I really do like Nakua. Brown, I probably wouldn't pick over Harrison because I mean, he's AJ Brown, but he does have the age a little bit over those two. But
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just not big on. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, and I understand he's probably going to be a good receiver, but he's never played an NFL down yet.
hmm
I mean,
and that's kind of like it's just a mindset for
like
people. Like it's the like
he,
because some people do like to risk it a little bit more, and especially like when it is a proven guy, like Brownie was saying. Like he kind of is almost a like as proven as it can be for a guy who's coming into the NFL, really.
yeah, I don't hate. Like I said, I don't hate it. I just think it was.
hmm But we
That's
can move
all.
on. It's that's like Brown said. That's where he falls in the draft. That's pretty much where he lies.
yeah. Like I
So
still like
it's not far
I
off.
still like Amon Ra over him even. Like I
Oh
like the
yeah,
Chase Williams
yeah,
over all that
definitely.
stuff. I would put him and I'd put Tyreek in like their own tier. Like, do you want the kid that's unproven but he's young and he's about as sure bet as you can get as a rookie, or do you want the older guy who's already proven he's been a wide receiver one or two the last 5 years, but you're only going to get the guaranteed like year or two from him. Like you
Mm,
can take it on like, hey, pick your poison there. You want the young build or the win now build, and have
right.
them there. Then you got the AJ Browns, the Kuas, Garrett Wilsons, that kind of thing.
But all right, let's move on. And I got a question for you, Brownie, because you drafted Brees Hall at the 208. If Gibbs was there, like Dan was kind of talking about earlier with Gibbs and Hall, if you had the choice of both of them on the board, who would you go, Gibbs, or would you still go Hall?
I would have still gone Hall.
Still
I
gone
love
Hall.
Gibbs. I love Gibbs. I still would have gone Hall. He has won no competition.
Okay.
So in a win now thing, you're like, who's back there with him?
Right.
Like, you gotta get drafted a few guys that are rookies, but like Brees Hall, and you can see by how much they used him second half of last season. He was absolutely the best running back, and I feel honestly he's like on pace with CMC as far as numbers. So, and he's only what 22, 23. Like
And was on a
um,
bad offense.
yeah. Of course, he got hurt early in his career, so like he's
He
gonna,
still recovered from it though. Pretty like I mean, it's not like he had
yeah,
a huge hiccup when he came back from it. So he's recovered well
yeah.
from it. So I don't really
But
see that as too much of a concern right now.
yeah, but no, like I said, like he's coming 2 years off of that, so I think he'll be top five running back for
hmm
at least a few seasons, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt. So like Gibbs, he's also phenomenal talent, probably as talented, but right now you get David Montgomery,
Yes,
and
like you said about the
you just don't know how.
that's
Like, but
Brees's
I still think
backfield.
that's Brace's backfield,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, if I would have taken Marvin Harrison, I would have taken Anthony Richardson right there
Oh, okay.
if
So
they would have popped up, but
if
because those two were taken, yeah, I went.
okay, all right.
And if Brees would have dropped, I probably would have gone. Um, I probably would have gone like another quarterback like Herbert, or I probably would have taken a shot at a receiver like Puka. Um, So I probably would have changed it up, but because again, like Mahomes
Right.
was in the first round, Brees was there. I'm like, I don't get too many shots at this at 208. So I'm like, I'll take him.
And really in contention for top, he'll be in contention for top 3, easily top 5, like you said, for the next few seasons. So
Yeah. So like I said, I think if I get the first dynasty team is I'm like very questionable on like the running backs. I know running backs aren't as valuable, but it's nice to know I got that position shirt up
yeah.
for like the next at least 2-3 years. So
But that's interesting. You said if A. Rich or Harrison was there, you would have snagged them over Hall.
easy,
Which
especially Richardson. I think I would have taken Richardson first. If
you would have
like
had
that
Mahomes,
3,
Richardson. That would have been pretty nasty. So
Mahomes Richardson would have been so
that
nasty.
would have been pretty good.
And then my entire draft would then just be different. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I feel that. But all
but
right,
yeah,
let's it is a good pick. Let's move on here. We had Herbert following up Laporta Brown, and I followed up with Nakua at the 212, and then Jaden Daniels, which Dan was talking about earlier. I snagged him at the 301, which I am super happy about that.
I
And
like that.
grabbing and Puka, I think right there, it was just a matter of who I thought was the best wide receiver. If it was AJ Brown there, I probably would have went AJ Brown. So I mean, because I don't think I would have drafted Neighbors over him. I don't think I would have drafted Wilson over him. I don't think I would have went running back. I mean, I went quarterback, and I wouldn't have had to do anything else. Laporta was off the board. I wouldn't have drafted Kelsey that early. So I think wide receiver was it, and it was between them two. So and
I would say, looking at the second round, the one surprise out of that round that popped for me was Tua being taken before Love, Richardson, or any of the other guys
oh,
really
Tua going that early
in
at
the
the
next like
203.
7 picks. Like Tua, I thought was like a
Yeah,
third
I agree with
quarterback.
that.
Quarterback.
I agree.
Like I mean, that's a decision. I'm gonna say that's a decision that was made there.
Yeah,
But I
because
would
I
have
think I would have went Love, Richardson. Ooh, I think I probably would have went a few different quarterbacks over Tua.
gone probably Herbert or actually Richardson, Herbert. Love would be in that
I think I'd take
um
Love over Tua.
like that early third round, like where Kyler and Dak went. So
I
Yeah,
just
that's a
wouldn't
weird.
draft Tua that early, to be honest. I'm not a like I don't hate Tua, but I don't like love Tua to draft him that early. What do you think, Dan?
I thought it was too early to draft both of them. I mean,
What?
I
Who?
guess.
Tua and Love, or
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Love don't really. I mean, they got an okay receiving core, but it's not proven. I just think Tua was too early. I mean,
I
I
like
guess
the
you got to
Packers receiving core. They got a bunch of like good guys there, so
Yeah,
I'm not
they're just
like
not. They just don't have tier one guys. That's
yeah,
what I
they just
mean.
don't have like that soup. Yeah, and that was supposed to be Christian, but he seems like he's just banged up too much. But we'll see
Yeah,
if
he doesn't. He doesn't touch the field consistently enough to be a one.
so. If you
Uh,
had to go quarterback there at the 203, who would you have selected?
Probably Richardson or Kyler
Richardson,
Murray.
Murray. Okay, all right.
Murray or Richardson.
I feel that.
Probably Richardson more than anybody. I mean,
Yeah, I think I
oh, it's
probably would
hard.
go Richardson over that. Yeah.
It's hard. Like he's talented. I just he got hurt so early. So
Yeah, and he got banged, and he left games multiple times. Like it's not like he didn't finish the games that he played. He didn't finish them all.
that's what was concerning to
So
me.
yeah,
That
that
was
is.
crazy. He just never could stay on the field.
But
yeah,
yeah, that's a good call out there. I think Tua did go a little early, but I mean, hey, if that's your guy at quarterback, that's your guy at quarterback.
hey man, shoot your shots.
Yeah,
Nobody's stopping you.
but quarterbacks, and I love, and it was a decision because I do like Kyler. I like Kyler Murray, and he's gonna have the number one rookie in Harrison Jr. But I had to go with the extreme upside of Jaden Daniels. I mean, the rushing upside is it's just too good. It's too good to pass up. And having Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels, like both extremely like Yeah, it was a good combo there.
Oh yeah. Honestly, a part of me is like looking at it now, like, man, he was there when I had that second pick. I was
I'm
thinking about
surprised he
it.
fell, but it seems like he's got a lot of like that's where he kind of falls in a lot of drafts. Because I was just watching something the other day, and that's the third round's kind of where he falls, which surprised me. Because I would have taken him over. I probably would have taken Daniels over Tua. Oh yeah, I definitely would have taken Daniels over Tua. What am I even saying?
Yeah, I do like Daniels a lot. It was a good pick by you. I think long term, you're not sure, but like, I think he immediately makes an impact.
Yeah, because I mean, he's still like Dan says, I mean, unproven, and it's true. Like, and he does have that aspect to his rushing, to where he does take a little bit too much of a chance with the hits that he takes. So that could
Yeah,
be a thing. You never know.
he also did throw the most passing touchdowns in college last
Yeah,
year. So
his deep ball is really good.
yeah,
Like
but
that's
he's also
all off season. That's what I've been hearing is his deep ball is just amazing. He puts it like
yeah.
right in the corner where the wide receiver can get it, like only can get it. It it's gonna be good. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I feel like he'll make an impact. He's the rookie that I'm honestly most excited to watch so
Exactly.
far.
Yes. Yes. And that's really like when he and it goes back to what you guys said about who would you rather have, Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. I think I'm with you guys on that. Like I was on the fence about it in the beginning, but as time's gone on, I'm on the Jaden Daniels side.
I still don't think Caleb Williams is gonna do well in the NFL, but that's just me.
I agree.
Terrible
I
terrible
would
franchise
take
system.
first. I would have taken Daniels even over Williams in the rookie draft if I had the decision of like having the first pick. Um, so I would have definitely. Like I said, Williams could end up being a great quarterback. He's got the talent around him,
That's what I
but
think does benefit him a little bit more is he does like I mean they added Keenan Allen, like they added weapons like to that team. So he wouldn't really have an excuse other than just sucking.
I mean, he does have an excuse that Shane Waldron is his offensive coordinator.
Just being on a Bears team, I guess, in general. But
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's why he's not going to succeed. That's why Caleb Williams won't succeed in the NFL.
I kind of get it. I kind of get it. It's like just being a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what talent's on the team, but if you got literally somebody that doesn't know what they're doing leading the team,
Oh man.
good stuff.
But all
That's
right.
why
Let's
I was like, I'm not sure if I would take any. Like I like DJ. I like Keenan Allen. I don't know if their value holds up with a rookie quarterback. Like
no,
it's
no,
not at
there's
all.
too many mouths to feed.
yeah.
Unless if he comes like 2 years with NFL experience in his head already, it's just going to be really bad, and I can't wait to watch it.
But all right, let's go ahead and I'll read off these next. Well, I'll basically go after the next round here. Prescott, Murray, Kelsey, Taylor, Barkley, Neighbors, Lawrence, Wilson, Etienne, Purdy, and Kyron. You went back to back RBs here, Brown. If one of those quarterbacks fell to you, would you have still drafted Jonathan Taylor, or was Jonathan Taylor your guy?
I saw that many quarterbacks and I was already like so upset. I was like, dang it. Actually like I was gonna go back on what I said like in the past about Kyler. Like I would have been
I
like
told you guys. He's a
I'm like, man,
yeah,
he'd be a great
yeah.
superflex, man. I probably wouldn't do like QB1 Kyler, but I would definitely superflex Kyler. Man, especially with Marvin Harrison. Man, that would been pretty good. But yeah, again, it was like those quarterbacks went, so I wasn't feeling great. I felt like there was more value later on in the draft QB wise.
Yeah, and really,
So
what your next guy would have been, and it would have been really between only those two guys at that point, Lawrence and Purdy.
yeah,
Because I
but
mean
My
Goff, but he's a little older at this point, so I don't. And he fought. Yeah, he's that's a little early to draft Goff.
Yeah, I mean quarterbacks they can hold up, into like the mid-30s and
Yeah.
everything. I ain't worried about that, but again, like other things, like, I did not think Jonathan Taylor would drop to like the middle of the 3rd round. So again, he drops there. I'm like, I mean, that kind of shares up my running back position, and then I can kind of start trying to
So what made you
peel off
go?
receivers.
What made you pick Taylor over Barkley?
That's what I was
I
just about to ask.
Yeah.
so if anybody remembers, RG3's rookie season, I am now blinking on the running back, and I can't believe I am. But he had like 20 some touchdowns that year, and he was not Jonathan Taylor. So I'm looking at like the RPOs that they're gonna run and how much of they're gonna be just like more focused on like a good balanced attack. Um, I would love Jonathan Taylor in this spot just because like maybe not down the road, but like these first couple of years, I think he's gonna be again top 5 off like just and again there's nobody there behind him. It's his backfield as long as he can stay healthy. So
Yeah, I mean
I
Zach
think
Moss is gone, and who else do they really have there? Evan
yeah,
Hall.
they have Trey Sermon and Devin Hall, and
Yeah, that's it. Trey Sermon.
like he's gonna get pretty much all the work. It's gonna be it's
Well,
gonna be good, especially like the first couple of years. I'm excited to like, and I always try to make sure I just kind of shore up my running backs, just because
And
there
he is
isn't that.
younger than Barkley, so that is definitely a thing.
He is younger, and I like
25 to
Barkley, but
25 to Barkley's 27.
I like
I just
Barkley,
like
and
Eagles.
they are also on a good offense. But I think he like the touchdown upside takes a hit because of the tush push.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I
that's
feel that.
is a play there. So, like I said, I've loved Jonathan Taylor since he came into the league too. So I've been always wanting to get my hands on him. I never did. So
I feel it. You had a chance, and yeah.
I got a
I
chance to
wonder if
take
they'll
him.
use the push less now.
See,
I
that's
was
what
wondering that
I'm.
too.
Because
Yeah,
like they don't really need to like hurt their quarterback now that they got a running back.
I think it'll
Yeah,
happen often enough though, where it does hurt him a little bit.
and I think in that spot I was originally trying to think about maybe getting Garrett Wilson, but I already had Brees
Okay.
Hall. So I was thinking that was the first thought. I'm like, I don't know if I want 2 guys on the same team because there's a lot of risk with that, especially on the Jets. So I was like, I'm not gonna take on Taylor. I totally shit on that. And I'm intentionally gonna use that word. I shit on that with my pick a couple in the next round with Michael Pittman, but we can go over that next round. But I love JT though. I like him and Hall. I can easily say I have the best backfield. With the maybe the exception of Bernie there with Gibbs and Barkley. Honestly, with Dan and Kyron and Christian
Yeah, I
McCaffrey, that's
was,
a pretty
and
good
that's
backfield.
where
I was gonna say,
That's
wait a
pretty
minute.
good.
that's where we're going
Wait.
to next.
I'm
That's
looking
where we're
over that
going to
now.
next.
So, yeah, like I'm happy with where I was at there.
And Bark, well, quick question for you, Dan, just before we get to your pick there. If you had to choose between the two, Taylor Barkley, would you go Taylor as well?
No, I'd probably go Barkley just because of the team. I mean, it's a very
Gotcha.
close call.
Yeah,
I think Barkley's going to take the majority of the snaps in Philly. They really don't have it back. That's why they went and got him.
right.
So, I mean, I don't know. He can catch out of the backfield too. So for me, it's like I'm just going with the better team at that point and the better offense. So I mean, it's a coin toss anyway. You can't go wrong with either pick.
Yeah, it makes sense
It was
that
kind of like the
they
CMC.
go
It
back
was
to
kind of
back
like the
there.
CMC. Yeah, the CMC Bijan thing. Just a different two backs. So it's really just preference.
Yeah, I think I'd go Taylor, but like you said, it's not it's you can go either way. But we'll finish up here in the 312. Another running back, Kyron Williams, and you do the same thing and shore up your RB situation. How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling good. I mean, he was out there the majority of the snaps. He can block. I mean, he almost had 100 yards a game last season. Um, so very versatile back. He won me another he won me in another league, in a different league, having him and um, Rashad White. Those are my two backs. But yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah, and I have
I
to
don't
admit
think
I was
Kyrie's
wrong
going
about
to
Rashad
fall off.
White last year. So
Yeah, they're just two really good run. Like I compare the both, I guess they're two young pass catching backs. They're just efficient.
So what
Um,
made you pick another running back, say, over going with someone like Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, like one of the top wide receivers
Garrett
left?
Wilson. Garrett Wilson was there. I mean,
because
No,
you
DJ
never.
no,
Moore,
Garrett Wilson was at the 309. He
He
already
was
got
there.
picked.
Gotcha.
because I knew I can get quality receivers like DJ Moore, Tank Dell, and Devontae Adams later in the round. I
Okay,
mean,
so it's his priority.
receivers are receivers are just like this goes back to the thing right there. Receivers are just a dime a dozen, and running backs to be coveted. I mean, if you have two top 10 running backs, you can probably find enough receivers to pull you through whatever you're doing.
Gotcha. And then you followed up with the beginning of the fourth round here with Jared Goff. And who else would have really? Oh yeah, the next quarterback to come off the board would have been way down there. So you basically grabbed the last quarterback in almost like that top 10 tier, I guess you could say. Like
Yeah,
top
I
12,
wasn't
top
trying to
10.
get definitely
Like
just like a top 10, middle of the pack
yeah.
quarterback, like a better than average quarterback. I mean, he has Almond Rowe, he has
Because
Sam
really, that is
Laporta.
the cutoff. Like you can see it, how the draft goes. Like there, that's the cutoff, and it's real. I
Jared
mean,
Goff's been sneaky too, because those people I have
no,
him
he's
in my.
good.
He's been a top what 8 quarterback, top 10
He was
quarterback
number
last 2
7 last
seasons.
year, number 8
Yeah, he's number
overall.
7 last year. He's not a. He ain't no sprint.
He's only
He's a baller.
29. Like he's got a few years left if he wants it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, like you said, with Laporta, with
St.
Amara,
Brown, beast.
yeah, I mean, give him Gibbs the ball, like it's gonna be. I think he's gonna be like really underrated.
No, like I
Yeah,
said, he's around like no less than top 12. Like, but I'd say top 10. And he'd be hovering around like where he was 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like that
yep,
would be his range.
Yeah, like I think he had like a 5 touchdown game last year too. That's out of nowhere. So I think he kind of runs in that, yeah, like top 10. Like I can kind of bring back like at the late 2010s with the Rams when you had like Gurley, you had Woods,
Yeah, I
you
love that
had
you
those
remember
guys.
that.
oh
They
yeah,
were he was really good then too. So I think he's gonna be
Todd Gurley.
in
Hell
that
yeah.
range as long as the playmakers are there. Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, if you're gonna grab your quarterback, if you're gonna grab, well, you kind of at that point you didn't have one, and if I mean you could have went and you could have like gotten a top guy, but like you said, you could wait on wide receivers, so it wasn't like a huge thing for you. And then you grab basically the last one in that tier, which I think is smart.
yeah. I wanted to have a quarterback that can compete. And although,
You're legit QB1.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and,
feel it.
and it's like I don't know, like I would have took Jared Goff definitely over to maybe even like
Dude, Goff over
maybe
Tua. Woo, I like
yeah
that. I like that.
I thought
maybe
it was like a third, fourth rounder. A decent choice, like especially for this year with Tyreek and Waddle. But even with him last year, he was like what quarterback?
he was
I forget
up
what even it
there.
was here. He was quarterback 9.
Yeah, I
But
mean he's bored, like he's almost like where Goff sits almost.
I also am like, if he's in Miami, you gotta also think, um, and I think his efficiency wasn't that like great either, especially down the line last year. I'm just gonna bring up the stats real
No, when
quick.
he plays in the cold, they don't do well at all.
Yeah, and it's playoff time. Like, is that going to be your quarterback one in
Well, I
the in
mean,
the
playoff
in the
time doesn't
time you need him
really
in?
affect us too. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Like may get them like an away game towards the end of the year where, yeah,
Yeah.
it would affect you in the like towards the playoffs.
Well, I'm
So
looking
yeah,
here. Week
yeah, I guess.
14. week 14 QB 23, week 15 QB 23,
Oh yeah,
week
see, that's
16
not
QB
gonna.
22, QB 16, QB 24. Like I feel like once the Richard goes down, that whole offense is,
Yeah, that's not
with
gonna get
maybe
it
the
done.
exception of the running backs. Um, it's
Oh,
not
excuse
like
me.
it's. I just feel like it's very risky. I mean, early season you're loving them, but yeah, it's gonna be.
That
Especially
warm
if loving him
weather.
in the first half, you might not love him so much in the second half.
I feel that, and
Yeah,
I
it's gonna be
kind of
like that.
like that Goff over too, honestly.
And golf in the dome, there's nothing to worry about half the time. So
I mean, honestly, maybe even Baker Mayfield over Tua.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I
Baker,
wouldn't go
I
that
don't know
far.
about
I got
that.
Baker,
I
so
wouldn't go that far.
I
I,
can have a little
I
bias
don't know
there.
about that. I mean, go ahead and look at what Baker did last year.
I think like
Yeah, but still, I mean,
everybody's definitely saying
I
because of the
like
Canelo
Baker,
stuff
but I don't know if I could
that
do
Baker's
Baker
gonna
over
be back
Tua.
to his old self. I do think Baker's like a QB2 though.
Yeah, I don't think I could do Baker over Tua. I can't get
I
I
think
that
think
it
over
was
crazy.
two is
last
a
year.
slight stretch there, slight stretch.
A little bit. But hey,
I
it's
don't know about that.
all a matter of opinion.
I
But
mean,
here
he
we'll
still went to the playoffs with Tampa Bay over
and
Cleveland,
he and
which
him and the
Cleveland
Mike
still
Evans
sucks.
connection. I mean, it seemed legit. So,
Yeah.
but let's move on. Jalen Waddle, Kyle Pitts, A. Chan, Chris Olave, Kincaid, Ayuk, Pittman, Henry, White, Walker, and London, and then Brown here at the 408 with Michael Pittman. You get your wide receiver, your first wide receiver. If
Yeah,
if that pick before you Ayuk was there, would you have went Ayuk over Pittman?
it was close. I definitely would have taken Olave over Pittman. I don't know about Ayuk.
What about
And I'm
Waddle?
like looking at it, 100% I would take Waddle over
100%
Pittman.
gotcha.
100%. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anybody pretty much with the exception of Ayuk. I think I
So
would have
Ayuk
taken
and
Pitt.
Pittman, would you still go
Yeah.
Pittman?
Yeah. And I'm looking at it now and like when I made the pick, I looked at my roster. I was like, I have two Colts on that team now. I don't know. That's a good thing or a
Oh
bad thing.
yeah, I didn't even
Like this
I really
offense,
wasn't even paying attention to that. I'm like, wait,
like
what?
I'm only trying
Like,
to
oh
play again,
shit.
but when I looked at the top Pittman there, I was like, that's pretty good for the fourth round. Like the dudes had like 100 and some 120 receptions or something last year, and 1,000 yards, and he was
He's always like
yeah.
good. He's always good.
I think
Like,
he's always really good, and I think just the sure-handed wide receiver. Even though I have Jonathan Taylor, I think that offense is going to be fantastic.
yeah, if it's a high flying
Considering
offense, you don't need to worry.
yeah, and I know like hopefully like both the passing game and the running game can be great both weeks. But even if the passing game is not great, I think Pittman's still getting most of the work and still can put up double-digit numbers every week. So I'm not so worried sure about that. But I was looking at trades. So if y'all got a deal that needs to be made, I had him on a trade block for a minute, but I took him off. But I'm always open to that.
Yeesh. I don't know. I was thinking
Um,
about
but
trying to grab another wide receiver after trading away Hollywood, but I don't
yeah,
know.
and
I don't
then
know.
looking at it, like maybe would have taken the second shot on London.
Hee hee.
If I had a redo, but
Hee hee.
I think other than that, I think Pittman was out of that tier of wide receivers was like the last of them. So
Yeah, it's
I'm
kind
not
of
I'm
you
happy
could
with it.
like you said the London could if you like the London situation, you could definitely have him. You could definitely be thinking about him. But if Ayuk was there, if you had your selection here, Dan, would you go Pittman over Ayuk, or what would you do? Or would you do London?
Oh,
Pittman, Ayuk, or London?
mm, I'd probably go Pittman just because he got the better quarterback,
Gotcha.
like talent wise. Yeah, that's probably the better play.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Like,
I don't know because there's like other receivers that I like out there too. Like I really like Nico Collins. I really like Romo Dunze, even though I'm kind of going against my thing where he's not proven. That dude was just such an animal in college as well. But yeah, I mean, I probably would have went Pittman there too. But there's some other options that you can talk about, I guess.
That's what really, if at that point you would really have, that's kind of where I think the three would be after Olave. Yeah, you'd Pittman, London. I mean, you probably could,
Yeah.
you could throw Collins in there. I would probably throw him in there as well. But
I just throw
with
him
the
in there because
addition of Stephon Diggs, it does muck it up a tiny bit.
If Diggs only stays there a year, though, I think
Yeah, that's the
Nico's
thing. Who
that
knows how
guy.
long, and if
Yeah,
he's even Stephon Diggs of old.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like they're just the San Francisco of the AFC with their receiving core right now. They just have a lot of mouths to feed, but I feel like Stroud can feed them all.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll be passing the ball a lot. Yeah. I mean, they got Mixon back there and Pierce, but really, like, I don't think they're gonna be
Yeah,
handing it off.
they're a passing offense.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on like the weather and the environment too, because now they can grind Joe Mixon in the cold games.
Yeah. Which does help Nico though, because on a play action or something, he's him in that deep ball.
Yep.
Yeah. And he got taken
But
out
yeah.
there too. Like Stroud loves him. He's like saying like Mount Rushmore of receivers. It's like all these great like Jerry Rice, and he's like next five guys I'd put up that I want to throw it to is Tank Dell. I'm like, all right, all right. That's a take. Okay, I love Tank Dell. I don't know if I'll go that far,
I'm not
but
high. I'm not. I wasn't as high as everybody else was because for the longest time, everybody in the like even our other league that we're in, that everyone was saying it there too. Tank Dell's Stroud's guy. Tank Dell's his guy. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like Nico Collins is a flat out beast. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Tank was getting targets, but the shit that Nico was doing was on another level. And Tank is being as small as he was, like I'm not counting on him being there as much as I'm gonna count on Nico being there.
Well,
yeah, that's why.
thing is, like I guess Tank Dell was just it was the whole Juju factor. I mean, they're gonna double up on Nico way more than they're gonna double up on Tank Dell, so he's gonna actually get more opportunity.
And
Which
honestly,
is
I don't
kind of
even think
crazy.
Nico. And I mean, we can maybe go into like the fifth round here a little bit, but I think Nico is gonna maybe be better than people think this year. They're like, oh, Diggs is there, so Diggs might be the primary guy. I
Nah,
don't know. I think Nico's still gonna be a
No, Diggs isn't the primary guy. No, no way.
no. Like I said, Nico's still like right there.
No, Nico's the top dude in that offense still, as far as uh, from what
they
I
have
would,
three number
from what
one
I
receivers.
think and what I think is gonna happen. I think Nico's still gonna be the top guy there. With Tank Dell being probably not too far behind him, if anything. And yeah, Diggs. I think Diggs might even be behind Dalton Schultz.
I don't know about that. I mean, Diggs is still really, really good. I'm actually
I
interested
mean,
to see how Josh Allen plays.
Dalton Schultz is pretty dang good too, and he's the
Uh,
starting tight end there, and he got quite a bit of play last year. If I'm not mistaken, he was what top top 10 tight end. But I don't see him on here, so I'm not gonna go and try to search for him. But let's finish off the fourth round. We were finna talk about wide receivers. I ended up snagging basically the one that I thought was the best at the time. I could have went Nico. If I was gonna draft anybody else, it probably would have been Nico. I don't know if I would have selected Devonta Smith there. I do like Devonta, but he's kind of limited because AJ Brown's there. So I don't think I would have went there. Nico would probably been the guy. Adunze, no, I wouldn't have drafted him. Um, As far as running backs go, I don't even think if the Henry White or Walker was there, I don't think I would have went any of them over London either way. So I think I still would have went wide receiver here. And then Trey
you
McBride at
get
the
two
5-0.
though.
What's up?
I was like, you get two though, so why, you didn't think about taking a running back at all, like even
No, and
Pacheco up there.
I didn't want to force it. If anything, I probably would have maybe went James Cook out of everybody there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I would have picked James Cook probably over White, Henry, or Walker. Pacheco, Harris, even all of them. I would have selected Cook way over any of them.
But I mean, as far as London, the potential there was too good. I wanted my other potential stud wide receiver because I love my wide receivers. And with Trey McBride, we saw what he did last year, and then he only got better when Kyler Murray came back. Harrison Jr. is there, yes, but Kyler Murray still likes throwing those short passes in the middle of the field passes. He's going to be a red zone guy. He's going to be a top 5 tight end probably. So I got my tight end locked at the 501. And at that point, if I wanted to get my top guy, because Kincaid was already off the board, Laporta was off the board. Kelsey, I probably wouldn't, if I was going to go tight end, I wouldn't have drafted Kelsey. I mean, I like Kelsey. He's just a little bit too old for me right now. So, yeah, McBride was the pick there, and I'm pretty happy about it.
I like McBride. He definitely is the second option on that offense behind Harrison.
That's what I feel like.
Honestly, he didn't make it. He might be the top option.
That's what
in some cases.
Yes, I agree.
So I think he got a lot of upside. I think Kyler loves tight ends, so I think he got a good pick there. I would have taken him definitely within the first like 2 or 3 tight ends. Like for me, it would have been Laporta, probably him,
Laporta,
and
Kincaid, McBride.
yeah, I mean I
Yeah.
love Bowers too. I probably have to throw Bowers up there too, and then I would go like Pitts, Kelsey, Andrews, that kind of thing. So.
All right, so here, quick question: top 5 tight ends. Who's your top 5 tight ends?
Like in Dynasty or Redraft?
Dynasty.
Right now,
right now Dynasty, like in this draft, would it be Laporta? Like, yeah, go ahead.
Me, Laporta, McBride. I'm gonna say Kincaid just because like of the right now stuff.
Yeah.
Bowers.
Bowers, okay.
And I a little biased here. I would probably say Mark Andrews is still
Andrews over
really
Kelsey and
good
Pitts.
over Kelsey and Pitts. Yeah,
Okay.
Dynasty.
All right, what's your top 5 there, Dan?
Probably Laporta, Kincaid, Bowers, Andrews, McBride.
Okay, so basically that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I guess you have
shit.
an argument for TJ Hawkinson a little bit, but
He's injured right now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's injured right now. And I would definitely, he's a top 5 tight end. And we'll get to that.
He still finished 4th, I think.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah,
I'm gonna
dude.
say I think he's like in the 6-7 range. With Pitts as far as
Pitts is so weird because he's so athletic.
He's so talented, yeah.
He has no numbers to prove it, though.
And I think Pitts squeeze. I think Pitts I think the potential. I think I would have Pitts in my top 5. I think he'd be number 5 though.
I just can't have somebody that has been in the league for 3 years.
Hawkinson would be right. I think it would be a toss up. I don't know. I think just to put how young he is and the potential, I think I would have to throw him there.
Definitely has a better chance now that Kirk Cousins is there. But yeah.
Still a tricky one. But let's move on. Adunze, Pacheco, Harris, Collins, Jacobs, Cook, Devonta, Kamara, Swift, Bowers, and Joe Mixon. You go Collins. We were speaking of Collins earlier at the 505 here, Brown. How you feeling about that one?
Love it. I'm so happy he didn't get taken in any of those last couple picks. So yeah, I'm definitely happy about that because I probably would have then gone like Devonta or something like that, which I would have been what would have so liked, but I would have
A
been
little less
bummed.
enthused.
Yeah, like I was even thinking about taking Collins in the 4, but I knew
Yeah, I
he
couldn't
had a
blame you for
better
that.
chance of dropping. Pittman would have been taken probably in the next couple picks.
See, I
after
think,
me.
yeah, because you never know if he was left. One of the dudes who selected a running back could have, or Gerg at the 502 could have picked the Pittman or something like that. Because I think I might have still went London over Pittman. I don't know.
I'm always like London. I think London's got more upside, but I just don't know. He's never like he's had great games, but I don't know if he's had that like doesn't matter what quarterbacks thrown to him, he's getting
Mm-hmm.
stuff for Justin Jefferson numbers. Like I don't think he's that guy, but I think he's gonna be fantastic. With Cousins, like I can see him with a top 15 season. So I like him in that regard, but I just think Pittman's the safer bet.
Gotcha. But yeah, I like that. The Pittman Collins combo. It's pretty nice. Got
Yeah.
a solid team so far. But we talked about Nico quite a bit, so we'll move on. And Dan, you ended up going another running back here with Joe Mixon. Why did you make that move? Was it just because you didn't well, I mean, you could have went either way here, running back, wide receiver, because I mean, you just drafted DJ Moore at the 601. So, I mean, what was the
Well,
case here? You went running back because the another wide receiver available didn't catch your eye, or like say if Devonta Smith was there, would you have selected him over Mixon and went Smith more?
no, I think at that point in the 5 spot, I'm getting another top 10 running back,
Okay.
and I get to choke it from other teams.
Okay.
So,
I feel it.
so by choking the running back spot, I get another running back in case if these two get hurt, which I guarantee you one of them will. And
Yeah. I
I still
mean,
get them on a really good team. So it's not like the Texans are ass. The Texans are a
no, and
good
Joe
team.
Mixon's a good running. Like he did his thing with the Bennies for a long time. So
So the only the picking him really wasn't like rough. I mean, DJ then right after, obviously, because I got 2 picks in a row.
yeah.
DJ Moore pick, like I kind of like was having like a little bit of a struggle because I mean there are like Diva's a proven receiver. I could have got George Pickens, and
Yeah,
then Zay
Pickens is an
Flowers.
enticing player this year with Russell Wilson being there.
Yeah, and then you got Zay Flowers, who is obviously Lamar's number 1.
Yeah, and he had a good season last year.
But I kind of was like, I'll put it a little bit in good faith that
DJ Moore
I'll
is going
take
to be DJ Moore.
I'll take like a middle-ish age receiver with a rookie quarterback that's supposed to do well. And I mean, he was a top 10 receiver last year, so I
And
still
he's
get to
always done it
retain.
with whoever would like the shit he's had shit quarterbacks like
Yeah,
pretty
his
much his
entire
whole career, and he's still
exactly.
so I feel it. I totally feel that. But it's you can't, like you were saying, you getting another, you kind of put like you kind of force people, like you were saying, you kind of make people make moves that they wouldn't, like by getting all those running backs, and then if someone does need a running back later, you kind of like, oh yeah, hey, I got you.
Yep.
You might have to pay up a little bit more, but I got you.
Yeah, and then I can go get
Yeah.
what I
And
want.
and you have if you'd have 3 top 10 guys, you could basically do whatever you wanted there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I understand the move. I get it.
Yeah, like I think by core I got 3 top 10 receivers and 3 top 10 running backs. So I'll take it.
Now, did Jonathan Brooks have any? Did he come into your mind at all?
No, I think
No.
one that team is ass. Like all around, Carolina's just
Carolina's
horrible.
ass?
Yeah, Carolina's ass.
Okay,
They
I
hand the
got you.
ball off to that dude 600 times. It's not going to matter.
I got you.
I don't
Okay.
think they're that talent. It's just that they're that.
Just not trusting in that Carolina team. I get you.
Yeah, but he goes in and drafts Xavier again. I see you there.
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
He's a rookie.
the thing
He's
is,
gonna be
the number one, like, I mean, I guess if you could say, if they're bad and they just have to throw it a shit ton, that works out, I guess. I mean, because
Yeah,
a
I
wide
think they're gonna be
receiver
a
on a
lot.
shit
I
team could
think they're
still
gonna be
do good in
better.
fantasy.
No, I think Dave Canales is there now, and he's been really good with quarterbacks like Baker
I think they'll
and
be better.
Gino. And I
The
think,
team as a whole is just bad. Their defense is awful.
Well, that's the
yeah,
thing. Their
they're
defense might be bad, but their offense, they did add some weapons to it. I mean, they added Deontay. I mean, they got Brooks now. I mean, they got some weapons
yeah.
on offense. It's not like they're the
I,
schlubs that they
I'm
were.
not
So
gonna
if that
say
defense is
I'm,
bad, that could.
I'm not gonna say they're even gonna be good. I'm just gonna say they're gonna be better than last year because last
That's
year was
yes.
horrible.
That's basically
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess. I mean, they didn't have a good line last
Yeah,
year
they
either.
they were god awful last year. So I mean, they really can only do better. I feel so.
Like if your line is ass, on offense, your team is just going to be bad no matter what skill you got. You
Well, I
can't
think that
block.
was
You
another
can't
thing they
play.
did shore up a little bit, if I recall.
Did they? They draft one.
I don't know, but it could have been a free agent guy or somebody they picked up. I can't
Yeah,
really remember.
because
But
up front they're just so dog.
Jonathan Brooks was not in the picture. Got it. so,
Yeah.
so really, it was between, like you said, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, the wide receiver. Mixon was your guy. All right, cool. So yeah, followed that up with Jonathan Brooks, Zay Flowers, Pickens, Metcalf, Samuel, Worthy, Andrews, Coleman, Higgins, Stevenson, McConkey. Brown, you drafted Andrews. He basically, yeah, I mean, really, that's kind of the cutoff again with tight ends. I mean, you could throw Hawkinson in there, but if a healthy Hawkinson, but Andrews is kind of like that last of what, like a top 5, top 6, really.
Yeah, I tried
Yeah,
trading for that spot to grab him. Actually, it's funny you say that.
Oh shit! So that
I
is
tried trading
dang.
3 different people.
I think Andrews honestly gets lost in the weeds because you get all these young guys. You got Kelsey, you got Kittle, and you're like, wait a minute, Mark Andrews is 27 years old.
And Kelsey
Yes, he's
does get
coming out.
drafted over him, it seems like, which is
Yeah,
weird to
and
me. I would pick Andrews over him.
yeah, I'm looking at what he did before he got hurt. The dude was still a number
He's an
15 tight
animal.
end. He played how many
No, I
out
think people just are afraid to draft him now that his leg got snapped like a
Yeah,
twig.
I think
That's
that's
all.
it. I think really, honestly,
Yeah.
that's kind of what that lingering injury feeling like. It's yeah.
It's not bad. Like I tried to trade up for him, so it's not like I didn't want him. It's just
No,
that
like I said, I saw that, and he's healthy now, so I don't think it's a problem there. I think Likely's also a great tight end too, so I can see them doing more of a split there. But I think, especially in like tight end premium, he's gonna get a lot of looks, even if they're like short looks, like short third down conversions, end zone.
Oh, he's
I
that
don't think
guy.
he's losing. I don't think he's losing, especially with Lamar still there. They have such a
that's
chemistry together.
that's a
Like
good.
the dude's gonna be,
Six. I
he's
would
gonna be
say
great.
it's average. What? No less than 6 targets a game, 6 catches a game, something like that.
Well,
If
he's
he's on the
Lamar's
field,
#1 target. Let's be real. It's not really Zay Flowers.
it's
It
Andrews.
was
Andrews is
and
number one there.
yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
think,
just
like I said,
Travis Kelce of Baltimore.
yeah, and I'm looking at like, and the Hawkins got the same thing going on too. So like, you can't really say like one guy's gonna be better over the other.
But Hawkinson,
But
the thing is with him, he has that injury right now. Like he's recovering from it now, to where Andrews
yeah,
isn't.
yeah, and Andrews came back in the playoffs. Like
That
he's a
Hawkinson got
monster.
injured at the end at what,
Yeah,
before the playoffs, I think.
got injured like
Like two
after.
Yeah, it was
games
like
before
2
the end of the
games before
season
the
or something.
playoffs.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's still recovering, and I think they said he's gonna miss the first 6 weeks.
I
Yeah,
forget who fucking hit him, but somebody literally
Dude
like
on the
took his
Detroit
whole entire.
Lions.
Yeah, I forget who it
Yeah.
was, but he took his whole kneecap with him.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched the play the other day because I was watching Hawkinson highlights, and then the last highlight was that Detroit Lion dude going for his leg.
mhm,
So
It's a legal hit. It's just a dirty hit.
yeah, I mean, and a lot of people were doing that. A lot of people were. He wasn't the only one who was making tackles like that. So
What are you doing? If it was somebody's like 6'6", 250
yeah,
pounds,
you
how else are you
can't
gonna do it?
necessarily blame them for it. Yeah, it sucks, but I get it.
It's like a 5'2" guy trying to tackle a monster. Like, yeah, Go for his knees.
Because yeah, I mean, if Hawkinson wasn't injured currently, like if he finished the year healthy and everything, he'd be right there. He probably might have even gotten drafted by then, before Andrews.
Yeah, I would have taken Hawkinson if he was fully healthy. Like I would probably
Oh,
take.
I like that.
I'd take him over Kelsey. I think he's like right there. I think he replaces Andrews in the top 5. I put Andrews 6.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that.
It's
I'm
just yeah,
excited.
he's just
I'm
a
excited
little
to talk
bit
about it.
yeah. And for me, as far as like again, like tight ends, good, solid as long as Andrews stays healthy.
Well, you got your guy there with at tight end. You have your quarterback, you have your number 1 QB, you have your 2 top running backs, you got your 2 top wide receivers, and then you solidified that with your top guy at tight end in
Yeah,
Andrews. And you can't go wrong selecting Andrews. I mean, he's the
yeah,
guy there in Baltimore. He's the guy.
yeah. I think if it wasn't tight end premium, I probably would have lined, kept like trying to stack wide receivers.
Okay. Who would you
Like
want there?
if even though like I like Metcalf, I like Pickens, I like Flowers, but they've
Well,
already
at that spot, if at not who
at
wasn't
that
like who was
spot there
available, like
really
Coleman,
wasn't
Higgins,
any.
McConkey, Smith.
Yeah, there wasn't really anybody. Maybe Addison, but
I feel it. There was like a
rookie
gap there, but I get it.
quarterback. JJ's there, Hawkinson's there. I can't really trust Addison like starting. And like then you got all the veteran guys like Devontae and McEvans and
It's a
Amari.
weird spot there.
Yeah, so like I thought maybe to take my shot at tight end, and then
And you
but
get a top 5
I
guy, really. Like
I
Andrews
could
could
go
be a
back and
top
be
5 guy.
like, yeah, but I mean I could have maybe waited a few rounds and gotten like Ingram and a Joku or Ferguson, and that had been pretty good there. But
Joke is serious.
Njoku's, I don't know with Watson though. I think Njoku could be. I think get
I'm on
three.
board with that.
I'd take I'd take Njoku with Joe Flacco over Njoku with Watson. Honestly,
I
Same,
would
bro. Same.
just take Cleveland with Joe
Flacco over
Flacco.
Watson.
Yeah, just anything
Yeah,
like
how
that.
hilarious would it have been if Flacco started out the year starting over Watson? I really wish that happened. Like,
I mean,
that would have been
honestly,
amazing.
they're not doing it. That's just not
They
how
should have.
win.
Like,
Yeah,
fuck.
Shot to literally win.
Man, the
like, that was
Browns.
just bad.
Fucking
And yeah,
damn
got another route.
Browns.
But yeah, pretty much. See, I could have got another route. I could have maybe stacked up and got like that guys like Devontae and
I
Mike
like it though.
Evans, kind of plunging you with receivers. But
And
I
there,
like that.
you were already good on running backs. You didn't have to force that. So
Yeah,
it's
and
either
like I said,
trade out. It's either trade out or select Andrews. Really, that's really the
or like
option
take a
there.
veteran a little bit later than I wanted it to, like or maybe take another quarterback. But really, like
Yeah,
I was
but
looking more at veteran than I was like a May or a McCarthy. So
that's what. Yeah, and we'll get to that because that's coming up for me. I drafted 2 rookies
yeah,
back to back in Lad McConkey and Drake May, and I am super happy in the value in which I got Drake May because that boy could easily end up being worth a lot by the end of the year, and I got him in round 7. Yeah.
people
I'm
were
so
talking
happy
about
about that.
New England being like this year's Houston, and like kind of just taking people by surprise with a rookie quarterback. I just don't think May's gonna start the year
No,
at
no,
quarterback.
I don't think he will start. Which, from what I've been hearing, Jacoby Brissett's going to be the guy to start it. I'm expecting that. That's why, like, if I draft the 3rd quarterback, I felt I could take the risk on him because I already had Hurts, I already have Daniels. Daniels is most likely going to start. Like, I'm not. There's a little bit of chatter with Mariota maybe, but Daniels is the guy. He's going to start. I'm not worried about that. May's a different story, but the value was just too good. And then with McConkey, like if he just ends up being the number 1 target for Justin Herbert, I'm happy about selecting him there. But it's just a matter of how many targets in a run heavy offense. Does he end up being Herbert's guy? We don't know, obviously.
I
But
really don't think they're gonna be as run heavy as people think. I think they're gonna be passing a lot.
They'll be run heavy, but it's not like I don't think it's going to be like you said as heavy as people think. Like people are making it out to be. Yeah, I agree.
In New England?
No, the Chargers.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be run heavy.
Yeah, because they got what's his face. They Harbaugh and everyone's like they're gonna be super run heavy. I mean, I think they'll be more geared, lean more towards the run, which would make them, I guess, more run heavy. But
It would be more of like a pro style offense with like
They'll probably just
like
come out trying to establish the run, and that's
and that's it,
good.
like a very
Yeah.
Steelers-esque kind of thing. But I don't see itself like running it 30 times a game with Gus Edwards and J.K.
no,
Dobbins.
and they well, especially what's his face, especially who'd you say, not Gus, the other dude.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, he can't stay healthy.
Between both of them, they have 2 good, healthy set of knees.
It's true. I mean, oh man, but yeah, I like Lad McConkey there. That one was a tough one because, like you were saying, it's kind of a weird spot, like with how you felt with Andrews. Like May was one that I took just because of the value, like the value that was there, and for the future is just seems so good.
Would you
And
took Ramondre if he wasn't taken there?
probably not. I
That's
probably
interesting.
still would have went and done what I did. And the thing is, and I'll talk about this now because that brings up what I was going to talk about earlier, and how you guys were drafting running backs out the ace. Like running backs were flying off the board. I mean, there's how many running backs just within the first 3 rounds that went 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Like that's insane. Before
I did so many mocks.
no
Only like one of my mocks did I get Patrick Mahomes. None of my mocks had Brees Hall and JT instead 2 and 3. I was literally going quarterback and then just 5 wide receivers
and that's
down
the
the board.
thing. And that's the thing, like what Dan was saying earlier, and how drafts and how people do them are so different. You can't really like think something's gonna happen because like this, like all the mocks, everything I watched, like I was watching them and kind of seeing where people land, but you can't take it to heart because like what happened with this, running backs normally don't fall off the board like they did in this. Like running backs were flying, like, and I wasn't gonna jump on them. Like all the ones that I really wanted. Like I said, McBride, it would have been, if I would have drafted any of those running backs towards that area, it would have been Cook over McBride or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if
I guess it's just rough.
Cook managed to fall that far to the 512, I would have drafted Cook. But other than that, like maybe Mixon, I'd throw Mixon in there probably as well. If he was there, if it was between Cook, Mixon, McConkey, I probably would have maybe have done one of those two.
I guess the way that I just look
But
at it is
I wasn't gonna force it because at that point, who was left? Montgomery, Benson, like Zamir White, Spears. Like, yeah, I could have maybe went one of them, but it's too early. I'd be jumping, and I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna force myself to make a pick because everybody else is making a picks and running up the running back. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I can't hurt myself.
well, I mean, I see what you're saying, but in a way, you kind of did hurt yourself because now you have 2 positions where you don't have a starting player in that position.
And the thing is, I don't necessarily need to do good this year. It's a dynasty league.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's fine. That's the decision you obviously went. It's
Yeah,
just
like I'm perfectly happy with doing that. If my team doesn't end up being a contender, I could just go the other way and go, "Oh, hey, give me a top 5 draft pick." And then if anything next year, like cuz well, we'll talk to it,
just
but
you know,
I drafted for potential future starters and RBs. I didn't jump the gun. But yeah, if Stevenson was there, I wouldn't have went Stevenson. I like Stevenson. I wouldn't have done that.
I could honestly see like you just trying to like do that, like kind of play for the future. But Kyron gets hurt. Kyron doesn't play as well. So, I mean, they love
Exactly.
like replacing running back like that and just
He
putting
likes using 2
Blake
running backs
Corum in
in
there.
general. So even if like Kyron can still put up a lot of points because
Yeah.
it wasn't too like it was not last year, but the year before, and pretty much every previous year when they were McVay's been there. they run a 2 running back thing where, like, say now it'd be Kyron and McCorum. Kyron would get two goes, and then Corum would get 1, and Kyron get 2, Corum get 1. And
Yeah,
then
so like
if Kyron gets hurt, Corum's that guy. So
so I like that. Or like, hey, Kamara sits out, like he doesn't like show up because he wants a contract or something. You know, Kendrick Miller's a good
that's another. Yeah,
good
we'll
running
get
back.
to that, and that's exactly what I was. My point was I wasn't gonna reach on running backs at that point. I'm going value. I'm going who I think is gonna be great for the future. My team's super freaking young, really young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with how my team's built right now. So, and Drake May, like in the future, if Drake May becomes the guy, I can end up moving any one of my quarterbacks, Hurts, Daniels, May, and get a haul for it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm happy with it. But let's continue this. McCarthy, Young, Montgomery, Cousins, Levis, Smith, Njigba, whatever. Trey Benson, Jordan Addison, Mayfield, Kittle, and Tank Dell. You selected your other quarterback here, which Kirko Chains.
Dirty Kirky.
Yeah. What made you select him, say, over a few of these guys that were left here? Because you still had Levis, Mayfield, and Watson was even available, and you could probably maybe throw Nix in there. Nix is kind of a little bit. He's getting some value. He got some value kicking, so yeah, I guess you can maybe throw him up there. What made you
I
What made you
had
pick him over those guys?
I had a little game plan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hoping it worked out, and it did. I wanted Cousins just
Okay.
for the veteran quarterback,
Gotcha.
and good QB too. Like not great, but I think he's still I think he has the potential to be a top 15 quarterback. I don't know if he's gonna be that good, especially coming off a torn ACL. Um, but he's got a good complement of players: Bijan, Jake London, Kyle Pitts, a few other guys there too. And they signed him to a huge deal, so I think Kirk's at least there for you would think at least a couple seasons. But so yeah, just kind of shoring that up, trying to get a veteran QB that I can trust in. Like Will Levis could be done in half a season, or he could turn out to be like a super big value, and I'm just kicking myself for not taking
That's the
him. But
thing, and he does have that a little, I guess, upside.
yeah, a little bit upside there. Deshaun Watson, he's a bum.
I'm with you there, bro.
Uh, I like Baker too. I already have Baker in one league. I don't want to put all my Baker eggs in one
I get
in
you on
one
that too.
basket.
Yeah,
So
try to change it up.
I had Kirk last year, and he was really productive. And he's been a top 10 guy in the past too. So I guess it is a safe bet. And I also got the future though. They had a QB room there too, and Michael Penix, which is what I was banking on. So I
Okay.
just went ahead and just kind of I'm pretty much surefire to have my quarterback situation is pretty
So
much sure up there.
before we move on from that, if young McCarthy May was there included, who would you have picked then?
Um, I would have maybe thought about May.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Couldn't really
Young,
necessarily rely on him starting right away, but
yeah, Bryce Young. I have more faith in now, but I don't really have that much faith in. And JJ, I love. I just don't know if he's like
he
I
probably
don't know
won't
if
start either.
start right away either. Yeah, so
Because
that's
Darnold, from what I'm hearing, is gonna have that starting job.
yeah. I guess I think Kirk was just the more surefire bet with you know
You know what
just
you're
the
gonna get from him. I get what you're
yeah.
saying. Yeah,
And then I have the insurance now with Penix, which we can
yeah,
talk about
which
later.
only helps.
Yeah.
And all right, well, we'll get to the finishing the 7th round with Tank Dell here, and Dan. Well, Dan actually goes back to back wide receivers at the 7-12 and the 801 with Tank Dell and Devontae. You shore up your I mean, you pretty much shore up your wide receivers doing so right here.
Yeah, I just figured I'd close that core out. I could have went a tight end and grabbed George Kittle or
Well, Kittle
TJ
went right
Hawkinson.
before your pick at 7-12. So
No, I could have. How did that happen? Why is it showing that?
yeah, 7-11 Kittle got picked.
I'm looking at the arrow down the wrong way. That's why. Yeah, there was
So,
no really tight. I guess I could have taken Hawkinson, but
so if Kittle was there, would you have picked him over Tank Dell or Devonta? And if you did, who
no,
would you have picked over? How would you have went about that?
no, I wouldn't have picked Kittle over them.
Okay.
I could have, but at that point, I kind of like try to group players into tiers,
Mm.
and like Kittle was probably on the same tier as T.J. Hawkinson and Dallas Goedert right now. They're just uncertain. Not that they're bad players individually, they're just uncertain.
I got
Like
you.
George Kittle is just hurt a lot, and there's just so many mouths to feed. So
Yeah, you could have
he's
fell a little bit and still got a good tight end.
yeah, like ever since they got CMC, I feel like he's more of in a blocking role. But we'll see. It's like he has those games where he'll like do nothing and then he'll do everything and then he'll do nothing and then he'll do everything. So
But yeah, strong team so far. Yeah, you definitely shored up your wide receivers. You got 4 of them now, and your running backs. The only thing you would have left would be, yeah, the tight end, which you addressed, and yeah, we'll get to that. But 802, Jaden Reed, Stephon Diggs, Zamir White, Tajay Spears, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, Brian Thomas Jr., Aaron Jones, and TJ Hawkinson.
I
All
really
right.
like that Mike Evans trade.
Oh, what did that include? Can I see that?
I don't know. I just really like Mike Evans in that spot.
He traded. Oh, him and Hayden, I'm guessing traded, and he ended up getting. I think that's where the Pearsall picks comes in later for him.
That's literally between it was between Adams and Evans for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
And
I'd probably be the same.
yeah, and I ended up going with Adams because
It's
well,
Devontae
there's
Adams.
great potential there too. I don't think people were looking into that. But
I
really
feel
he can
it
get traded and be work in a heartbeat and then he's just back to Devontae Adams. So
because I do. I really like Devontae. Like in having one of them in a dynasty, I feel like, especially for a contender, is just amazing to have. Just because they're vets, they're older, but they're so damn good.
yeah, and he was such a late pick that it didn't hurt taking him at 8.
Oh hell no! Like that. And the only reason why he's there is just because he's like what 31, 32, and Mike Evans I think is only 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I get it. That would have been me. It would have been between Adams Evans. But
Yeah, it's gonna be deadly.
speaking of
And
wide
I think that
receiver, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying I really think Evans is gonna be deadly with Baker this year. I
Oh
think it's
yeah, I think so as well. I think the connection's legit. But at the 808 wide receiver, Amari Cooper, you grab your third wide receiver here. How you feeling about that, Brown?
I like Amari. I like Amari. I think he's criminally underrated. And he gets you some like crazy good weeks. So I like the upside, like, especially like at his age. He's not too old. I think he's 30 now. So he could
Um,
still have a couple of years left.
he is
And
30. Yes.
yeah, and he's been a top 20 wide receiver, like I think for the last 5 years, or the top 30 receiver last that's 3 years. So he kind of fits right in that spot. I got a little unlucky. I would have taken like Devonte Adams or Mike Evans,
Yeah, a
maybe even
string of wide
Baker Cup
receivers
over
fell
him.
before you picked. Yeah.
Yeah, I was got a little unlucky there, but I'm glad I at least got him and just kind of got a nice veteran that can score me at some points and I wish there was maybe a couple more there that were hanging there that but
Yeah, you
um
got unlucky but lucky because Amari was still there, and he's like the line or like almost like a tier break. I feel, at least in my eyes, because
yeah,
like
like he's
I'd
like the
put him
last
over. I'd put him over. I mean Thomas Jr. I mean he's we'll see, But as far as like the next few that go, like Rice, Mitchell, Kirk, definitely the last like break point there I would feel finishes with Cooper. So at least you did get
Yeah,
him.
and like I said, he's been this criminally underrated. I think
For
even
me,
with
it's just
Watson throwing the
Watson.
ball
I don't
there.
like Watson.
Yeah,
If
I
that's
still
the
think he's fine with Watson. I think Watson targets him a lot.
And he didn't
I
do
don't
that
think
great
that.
when like the only reason why he ended up doing as good in like pretty much like last year was because Flacco. Like that was when he had his biggest games.
Yeah, I will say
Like Joe
if
Flacco, like I mean, it's
X
crazy.
Joe
Factor
Flacco
Flacco
wins
out
it,
here.
like getting Amari the 50-point game with Joe Flacco. I mean,
Yeah,
if Deshaun Watson is even like just better than he was last year, I think Amari is gonna be just fine.
he'll be
I can even
fine.
see
He'll
him
definitely
having
be
a.
fine. Like he's still
I
a
can see like
really good player.
if Watson like even comes back to being like half the player he was, I think Amari gets a top 15 season.
And the thing
Just
is, you have Cooper as your wide receiver 3. He's not your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1. So he's perfect pretty much where he's at.
yeah, if he's like as far as like trying to win right now, I think he's yeah, it's definitely a fine pick for me. I would, like
Oh,
I said, I
hell
would have
yeah.
preferred Mike Evans. I was so upset. I probably would have maybe taken a chance on, but I wasn't 100%
Cup.
sure.
So
He already
you would have
missed by
chosen
different
Evans for
range.
sure over Cooper. What about Adams,
Evans
Reed,
and
Diggs? Any of them?
Adams for sure. Diggs, I already have
Evan.
Collins, so I wasn't gonna
Okay.
double dip there.
You like Jaden
Yeah,
Reed? What about him?
I like Jaden Reed. I like him more as a future player.
Gotcha.
Um, and I honestly would say I could see Christian Watson end up being that guy. That's like the top wide receiver still, or Dobbs. Like any one of those guys. Like you can't really like bank on Reed. I think he's a super efficient player. I just don't know if he's gonna get all that
Yeah,
much
there's a lot of
more
guys there.
snaps and targets and all that. So
But I like it. You finish up with grabbing Cooper. Like I said, I like Cooper. It's just Watson's what gets me. And yeah.
yeah, like I said, Watson could just be decent. I think
Yeah,
Cooper's gonna be fine.
yeah.
I'm just
And
saying,
again, he's your wide receiver 3,
dude.
so go ahead,
Yeah.
Dan. What are you saying?
I was saying it's such a shame because he was such a good QB in Houston too. Like he's actually talented. It's not like he's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
talented. It's just whenever you
Playmaker.
guarantee another human 200 plus million,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do anything either.
And especially after all the shit that he went through, and he still got all that money. Like, yeah, it's kind of like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
he's just showing up because he has to.
But
Rolling the Browns.
and actually, speaking of Watson, he got drafted literally right after Cooper.
Hey, this
but
on Watson.
but
Let's
Thomas,
go.
we finished up at the end of the 8th with, I feel, one of the steals of the draft in TJ Hawkinson going at the 8-12. Like a top 5 tight end falling to the end of the 8th round, even if he does miss half the year, like, and I get him back fully healthy next year and for the next few years. Oh yeah, I'm loving that right there at the 8-12.
Yeah, I mean some question marks. You got JJ there, you got Addison there, rookie quarterback, but Hawkins is already proven. So
Yeah,
if he's
he'll be a
healthy,
guy.
he'll be fine.
He'll be
Yeah,
a guy. He'll be a guy.
I
I'm
guess like
really.
an offshoot. I guess like an offshoot question from that. What rookie quarterback has the best team to have success with?
Wait, hold on. You were kind of muffled there. I couldn't really hear you.
No, you're good. I said, what rookie QB do you think is going to have the most success?
Um, I mean, Jaden Daniels. I feel
I mean, okay,
like
well,
as a whole, or like
exclude
career.
him and Caleb Williams.
Exclude him
like
and
this,
Caleb Williams, Drake May.
like this year or like career.
Just this year.
Oh, this year? Oh shit. Damn. I mean, really, it would just depend on who gets in first, really, at that point, McCarthy or May. I mean, you could throw Nixon there, I guess, but even he's not guaranteed to start right now. So it's like who gets in first? Like which starter sucks more, or like who gets injured or something.
I think JJ McCarthy's going to end up having the best year out of all of them.
I could see it, and I could see Bo Nix just if he gets in sooner. Like just because they don't like. I mean, they have Zach Wilson and Jared Stidham, who was, I mean, May, at least in front of May and McCarthy, you have Sam Darnold's. I mean, he had some bad years, but being with the 49ers last year, I think really helped him. I think he's better than Zach Wilson and Stidham. And then Brissett over May, like, if anybody's going to probably start sooner rather than later, it's going to be Nix.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If overall though, if I had to say if basically the same time, I'd go May.
That's
And I
fair.
think May ends up getting in somewhere during the middle of the season, like week 7, week 8. So I'm still gonna go with May.
I just like McCarthy's team way better.
Yeah, yeah. I do have he has the better situation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I really love Hawkinson there because I can use him. I can use him if McBride gets injured. I can use him as my wide receiver 4. I can use him basically as a top wide receiver. Like he scores. He scores. Yeah, I mean he scores like what? Let's see here. Where was he at? Yeah, he scores like he gets 25, 19, 20, like 30. Yeah, I can use it. I could use that.
He was tight end 4, and he missed the last 3 games of the season.
Yeah, I mean even previous seasons before that he was top 5. He was before that number 2, and then 2021 I think he was injured. He was number 15, but the year prior to that number 5. Like he's had 3 top 5 seasons already. So
yeah, his target. He gets a lot of targets too. It's a good thing.
I was really happy about that, and the only reason he fell is because of that injury. That's really the only reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
More points per game in PPR than Sam Laporta.
I
Yeah.
honestly thought that I was going to be able to get him on the crackback. That's why I didn't.
A lot of people did because I think even Tommy was saying he's like, I think it was my first one where that came about was Drake May. He's like, dang it, I thought I was gonna get him, and then when I drafted Hawkinson, he's like, dang it, I thought I was gonna get him. I'm like, yes, messing up people's plans. I love it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to draft like that. It's weird because like sometimes you got to draft players you don't want to draft because in the end it'll make somebody else worse than you.
And it's just the value overall. Like if Hawkinson comes back and he's a top 5 tight end again, if I want to, I can choose to keep both or trade one of my tight ends, McBride or Hawkinson.
Yeah.
So I have flexibility there.
You also took 2 basically top 10 tight ends, so you chose the tight end position
Potential top 5 tight ends, both.
Yeah. Yeah, so you chose the tight end position from everybody else.
Yeah, everyone was zigging. When y'all zig, I got zag. So that's what I did.
Yep.
But let's at least try to get to round 10 here before we start because after that we can kind of glaze through it a little faster here because we've been on here a while. But Blake Corum, I just drafted him because I needed a running back, and I really like Blake Corum, and I really like the Rams offense and their running backs. So, and I drafted him over Javonte and a few other guys like Warren, Pollard, Moss. Like I didn't jump too far for him, but I definitely did jump a little bit, and it's just because Corum's my guy right now. So.
Yeah, I felt like you could have got him like a round or 2 later.
And the thing was with that, I was kind of I know a few people like him because I know Tommy. And he selected a running back right there, so I wouldn't have put him past him to draft him, especially after having Rachaad White and Pacheco. Like he didn't need to worry about Corum starting right away. He could have stored him, and if he ends up becoming the starter next year, yeah. So I didn't want to wait till it came back around. I didn't want to chance it.
You just locked him up instead.
But yeah, who do we have? Fergie, Williams, Mitchell, Rice, Njoku, Warren, Ingram, Komet, Pollard, Nix, Goddard. And you went with another wide receiver here with Rice. Are you not scared about the suspension, Brown?
I'm not scared. I just as far as like all the receivers in that grouping, I'm looking at like what their ECR is, and Rice has kept dropping and dropping and dropping.
Well, I mean, they have Hollywood Brown there, and they do
Yeah,
have Xavier Worthy there now, though, and Kelsey's still
that
there.
that's true.
Pacheco, I mean,
But say Rice doesn't get suspended, do
he's
you
gonna,
think he's
he's
gonna
gonna.
be a 9th round pick or a 10th round pick?
I mean, if he
I
wasn't
mean,
getting suspended, I don't think he'd be. I think he may go a tiny bit earlier, but I don't know if he goes
yeah,
that far.
yeah, but
Like, would you
he
put?
dropped.
Would you draft at the if he wasn't getting suspended? Would it be what at that point? I guess it could be more of a debate. Would it be Worthy or Rice? But even then, I think Worthy still ends up being higher valued than Rice?
Possibly, like you don't really know. Like you don't know what's gonna happen with the Kansas City Chiefs. Like the one sure thing is Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
And you did
Everybody
do
else
that.
is kind of
You have your quarterback, and then you have a wide receiver pairing with it, and
yeah.
Rice.
So like if it
So,
works, it's fantastic. That's another weapon.
mhm.
That makes my fourth best wide receiver the top guy on the Chiefs. And Rice was so efficient last year in the playoffs and everything. I think he's gonna like, especially this season. I don't think it's that much of a that much value for him. Like I think he's gonna get suspended, and I think Andy Reid's gonna slowly build him back, and he might be maybe a possible start like later on in the season, going into the playoffs. But based on what he did last year, I think he's still like tremendously talented receiver. And I know Worthy's fast and he's good, and Hollywood Brown's there. But even for the long term, I think Rasheed Rice is a real.
I really
And
like
I think
Hollywood this year in that
like
team.
just based on the fact he's getting suspended, I think dropped his value so much. And I just think he's like just getting him in that spot is something I am willing to take the risk on. Plus, I have Patrick Mahomes. I don't think I would take him either, even if I didn't have Patrick Mahomes. So if I can get that stack with the other receivers I have and running backs and tight ends, I think I can have a really good team. So I was just shooting my shot there. I know I was definitely looking at like Terry McLaurin and Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
mean,
looked at some of
Kirk, you
those
can't go
guys.
wrong with.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good guys there, but I just had to just kind of take the shot on Rice just
You
based
could
on
have
his
went another
age.
tight end easy there. Njoku, Ingram, Komet. I mean, Goddard was there. Ingram's a hell of a. I mean, Ingram puts up points. He's a little older, but
Yeah,
you
and
could have
then
definitely used him over Rice. He
yeah,
probably would have put up maybe more points per game.
yeah, but long term, I think
Rice, yeah,
Rice.
yeah.
Like I'm willing to just kind of take a shot.
Gotcha,
Maybe it
gotcha.
doesn't work out, but it's like I think Rice is too talented to not be just like pushed to the side for more than
Mm-hmm.
you know maybe this season.
Gotcha. All right. Well, at the end of the ninth, Dan gets his first tight end in Dallas Goddard. Not a bad pick.
Yeah, Philly.
He was a little
That's all.
banged up last year, a little banged up, but he still finished as number 15 tight end.
Still think I take him over Dalton Schultz because of the wide receiver room, basically.
Ooh, that's
And
actually I like Dalton Schultz that's a pretty good comparison right there because I feel like they would kind of be near each other as far as because really that would be the cutoff right there. I feel like, which I'm surprised Ben Sinnott went before Schultz. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I really didn't have any. It was him or Schultz.
Yeah, between the tight ends, yeah, I feel that.
That was just. I feel like Goddard has a little bit more value just due to quarterback play and not as crowded as a receiver room as Houston is.
I mean, I like Dallas
Houston,
Goddard. I don't blame you for that. Between
yeah.
those two, I mean, it really, yeah, that's a hard one. Honestly, depending on the day, I could go either way.
I would have went Dalton Schultz if they didn't get Stephon Diggs.
Fair.
That's all. And then Matthew Stafford, obviously, I need
Getting your
another
number two.
quarterback.
Yep. Can't go wrong with Stafford.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's let's finish off this round 10 and then we'll kind of just glaze over our teams and speed it up a
Cool.
little bit and Yeah. All right. Penix, Kirk, Moss, McLaurin, Singletary, Godwin, Pearsall, Judy. Oh, you don't have a pick this round, Brown. Wait, did you? No, you traded
I
out.
took
No, you actually did.
I
You
took
drafted
Penix.
Penix. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
My bad. All right. Judy, Pearsall, Judy, Ridley, Allen, Hollywood. All right. So yeah, you drafted Penix right after Matthew Stafford, and you said you already had a game plan for that. So even if Stafford, Nix, anybody was there, you probably would have drafted Penix.
As soon as next one, I'm like, okay, I
As
gotta
soon
try
as
to.
you okay, so you saw that he got picked, and you're like, all right, shit, I gotta try to get up there a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I wasn't even like maybe trying that hard, but I think Nate, who I traded with a pick for at the time, he was selling that pick. He was like taking offers, so I decided just to send him something. He accepted, so I got that spot. So I was like, yeah, let me try to get this like a quarterback room. And Penix is also a really talented player as far as a quarterback goes. So even if it takes him a few years to get on the field, um, or more, like he's there. He's on my roster, so he's at least gonna get a shot
And like you said,
to
you got Kirko. I mean, you got that quarterback room locked down. So,
pretty much, yeah.
and you don't really have to worry about too much QB3 because if something happens to Kirk, you have Penix.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, unless something happens to Mahomes, but Mahomes throughout his career has been pretty solid. Like that's not really anything you would probably think about Mahomes, like injury.
I drafted Carson Wentz at the end of the draft too, so I got
Oh, okay, there
a
you
little
go.
bit
Bang.
there too.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty
All right.
safe on the quarterbacks there.
But all right, we finished off the 10th with Hollywood Brown here, which we talked about earlier. I traded him away, and he's no longer on my team. So yeah, bye bye Hollywood. And I would have kept him, but I lean towards the. I kind of can trust in some of the wide receivers that I drafted later to maybe somewhat replace him, and I didn't want to be a middling team to where like I was stuck in the middle. So I kind of wanted to make a move now to kind of be ready for like the future if my team like because we talked about it earlier. I really don't have a start. Like my running backs aren't gonna really do shit for me in the beginning, especially the beginning. Like I can't really count on them. So in that regard, like, do I go and make a move for a running back or do I sit? And I wanted to collect another pick. And then, so if my team happens to blow up on some random shit, it could happen. You never know. I can do that. But if, like, I'm kind of expecting and my team isn't a contender really, like, maybe make the playoffs, but nothing further than that, I'd rather just go the other way and be prepared to make my team better next year and be a contender then. So
There's so many good running backs coming out of the draft next
yeah,
year,
and
too.
that's the thing too. Like I can draft a guy. Like if any of those picks I have now end up being a top 5 draft pick, I'm good. I'm fine. My team's gonna look super legit next year. And if I can even just get one starter out of the group that I have here, Corum, Wright, Miller, Vidal, if I can get a starter out of one of them by the end of the year, my team's going to be looking so much better because I'm going to have Hawkinson back. And then, like I said, if May or any of these, like if May comes in and does good, I have the potential to trade one of these guys away, which only gives me more options. I'm really happy with how I built my team, especially like I was saying earlier, and how like even Dan was saying, kind of putting a stranglehold on the running backs. And yeah, I went the other way. I didn't force myself to jump in value. I feel everything I did here is really good value, and yeah, I'm not gonna really probably win this year, but hey, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, a lot of people have those like year 2, year 3 builds, or just like stack a bunch of young guys up and see what happens. Aiden did that with his original Dynasty team, so.
And I mean, you kind of have to read the room. Like you can't again, because you don't want to be a team that sits in the middle every year. You want to either be in it or out of it. I don't feel like not in Dynasty, like, because if you get there, I feel like you almost get stuck there.
Yeah.
So I feel I can make my team a whole lot better by doing kind of just really preparing for my team not to be good, well enough to contend. So I'm just gonna rush it through here. I'll finish talking about. Actually, here I'll just finish talking about my roster, and then we can go and we'll go Brown Dan. Dotson, Wright, Miller, Kev, Vidal, Samuel, Douglas, blah blah blah, Mims, O'Connell. No, that wasn't me. I didn't draft Bigsby. That was Nate. Who did I? Where? Lauby is where that next one. Oh, and Ray Davis. Lauby, Ray Davis, Stidham. Frank Gore Jr., Dortch, Bellinger, Tucker, Murray. Yeah, blah blah blah. All right, so yeah, again, I really kind of just drafted running backs that have potential future starter type shit. Like if Mostert, he has probably maybe another year left on that team. If Mostert isn't there next year, Jalen Wright or Achan, who do I believe is going to be the actual number one there? Right. I don't think Achan's going to be the number one. I think he could put up points, but as far as like who's going to take the Mostert role, I feel Jalen Wright would take that role. So I drafted him there. Kendry Miller, if Kamara isn't there next year, or even if Kamara gets injured, I mean Kamara is what, 30 years old now, 29, 28, sorry, but I mean he didn't have that great of a year last year. I mean he didn't look like he got his touches, but he wasn't as productive. Like if you watch some like what he did, he didn't look as good. So. And then Vidal, I mean, like Dan was saying earlier, those running backs basically they make up like two good knees between the two of them, like maybe even one. I don't know, but Vidal, I like that one there. Samuel Douglas, I really like those two guys. I like Pop, especially matching up with Drake May. Marvin Mims, I kind of like him as a little bit of a sleeper this year. Aiden O'Connell, I like him off Sir Farva. I'm actually surprised. Tommy drafted Minshew. I think he might have been trying to maybe he was trying to grab O'Connell on the turnaround, but I wasn't letting him go and taking that. So, yeah. Anything left to say? Yeah, Curtis Samuel, Pop. I really like those two, especially Curtis Samuel. And then Ray Davis, I like him as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I got my backup for Daniels and Mariota. I said this to Dan. I can't stop drafting Greg Dortch. I love Greg Dortch.
Dortch.
I don't know. I like him, and yeah. So I'm really happy with my team. Really, really happy. And we'll go on to Brown here. Where were you at? Okay, so you traded with him, and then you got Penix, and then he ended up taking your spot. You drafted Gino. So you drafted another quarterback. Basically, you got another guy there, Gino. You can use him, trade him, whatever. You got bait there.
Somebody that kind of deal with Cousins.
Yeah,
As far
yeah,
as like sometimes his matchups, like yeah, even in the first week, I think his matchups better.
yeah.
But Cousins coming off first game off an injury, new team, he facing the Steelers. I don't know.
I feel it.
I like Gino better again. I think he's at home against like some middle of a tier team. Like I'd rather have Gino like in some spots over Cousins. So as my super flex, I got a little bit of flexibility there.
Yeah,
So I'm not just starting one guy.
I dig it.
Then
Yeah,
going
you.
down, I can just kind of go through them real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yep, Elliott, Franklin. I took Chig as my backup tight end. Bucky Irving. Josh
Bucky.
Palmer. I love Josh Palmer. I can talk about him a little bit here in a second.
I kind of like
Rico
Bucky too.
Dowdle. Bucky, love Bucky. Wanda Robinson, Malik Washington, Deontay
Ooh,
Foreman,
I
Tyler
like
Conklin,
Wandale.
Zay Jones. So we start getting into rookie territory here.
Yeah,
Jacob
it's
Cowing,
real
Thrash,
fucking dart throws there.
Ryan Flournoy, Carson Wentz, Justin Hill, Bo Melton. So I think out of everybody I think Zeke is not the same player
I
he was
like the
before.
Zeke Dowdle thing you did there.
Yeah, like I get a chance at a really good Dallas offense still, and they ain't running fucking pushes. Like if they're in the two, I think Zeke's gonna be. I think Zeke can get 10 touchdowns. Honestly, I think he can be efficient
He'll be
enough with what he's
serviceable in
getting.
fantasy for sure.
Yeah, if I need him like in a bye week or
Yeah.
third flex, I like Zeke. Same with Donald too. If he takes over, that's great too. Troy
Yeah, you just
Franklin,
have a
young
lock on the
receiver.
backfield in general there, so
Yeah, Troy Franklin. Love it.
yeah,
As far as like
nice
young
rookie dart throw.
receiver. Yeah, and that's what 12th, 14th round, 13th round I got him.
13, yeah, 13 of the 13-5, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
Shig just kind of see what happens with him. Bucky Irving, you never know with Rashad Wright. He could go down. Bucky takes over, and he's a really like more. I think he's more explosive back
Hmm.
as far as like efficiency. So I do like him. Josh Palmer, I think can be. As far as my favorite types of picks, I wanted to get later in the draft. He's by far my favorite. He was he's got Justin Herbert, and he was like the third wide receiver in a packed wide receiver room with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Now he's got nobody but what Lad McConkey, which McConkey can be great, of course. I think Josh Palmer, especially
Yeah, and they
on
have the
the
what's his face that the dude who sucked ass last year, that rookie.
Quentin Johnson, yeah,
Yeah, I
they
don't
only
like
got
him.
only
I don't like him.
that's it. That's all they have. They got DJ Chalk. Like I think Josh Palmer has a chance of a breakout. He's only 24 years old too, guys.
As far as I'm
24.
concerned, Palmer probably if he's not the number 3 guy there, he's like I feel he's not the number 2, but at least I
I
feel like he's number 3.
he could possibly sneak into number
He could
one.
end up being the number 1 guy.
He could
You never
like I
know.
think
It's
I
possible for
think
sure.
he hasn't really gotten a chance to prove himself. So and he's 24 again, young guy.
I used
Um,
him in redraft actually quite a bit because when he was on waivers, like I used him, and he
yeah,
did fairly well for me. So I definitely know about Palmer.
yeah, Palmer's definitely no slouch. So I like him. Dowdle, Robinson, I like. I mean, I think he's gonna be more of a slot guy,
He
but
is. He's a slot guy.
he's gonna be healthier this year. I saw reports he was feeling faster, so take a dart throw on him. Like Washington, we'll see what happens with that Dolphins wide receiver group. Deontay Foreman, I think, is the sneaky pick too, because especially early in the season for Cleveland, I think it's going to be Jerome Ford. I think Foreman's going to get a lot of work too. So if something happens like early in the season, I at least have some coverage there. Tyler Conklin, I think, is again dart throw, but he gets a lot of lucks, especially in the middle of the field. So we'll see what he does with Rodgers, Zay Jones, and I just started throwing at rookies. I think my favorite might be Ryan Flournoy as far as possibly sneaking into like the Dallas wide receiver room because you got Cooks, you got CeeDee Lamb, of course,
It's really a
but I don't.
battle for the number 3 there.
Yeah, I think Jalen Tolbert's been doing good, but I think he might have a chance to sneak in there. Jamari Thrash, like Jacob Cowan, you gotta wait for somebody to get traded or you know injured or whatever. Like he's a future,
Yeah, I mean
but
after a certain point, that's really you're just hoping you're looking at the best situation, maybe not even the best situation, but a potential to where like you said, if something happens, he's in San Francisco. If he becomes a top 3 guy there, I mean, well, top 3, just even the number 3 receiver. I shouldn't say top 3, but yeah,
yeah,
he can get some he'll have some value. But
I would take these guys over like the guys that are like on the 34th year, like Traylon Burks or
mhm.
Juju or like Parker
No, Juju's
Washington,
worthless.
Tutu Atwell. Like those guys, I'm not like a big fan of. I like Calvin Austin too, but I couldn't get him. I was kind of maybe with
I
him.
would have picked Cowing over him.
I like Calvin, but yeah, I said Wentz, handcuff. Hill might get some work early in the season behind Henry, and then Bo Melton. Uh, you never know with Green Bay wide receivers, man. He's like the sixth guy, but he's proud of touchdown in the playoffs. Like you never know. So yeah, that's my team, and I'm feeling pretty good. Plus, I kind of wanted a little bit of like youth with wide receivers if I'm not super super strong on the wide receiver end.
Yeah,
So,
your team's not old. Your team's not super old, but not like super young either. Like you're kind of like you kind of got a mix of everything.
yeah, and I like that just to give myself a little bit of like if I suck this year, I can trade it with the old guys, or if I'm good, I
Oh,
can maybe help some of the young guys with some of the picks. You know.
your
Well,
average age is 26 years old.
oh shit!
I'm
How do
looking
you
at
find that?
Thank you.
I'm looking at this one like hold on, I'll drop it in the chat. I look at a couple different like reports, but I don't even know which one to put it in. I guess I'll put it in here. But yeah, your average age is 26 years old.
Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
But
Yours is 26. Brian's is 24.2. I'm
wait, mine's
26.2.
24.2.
Yeah, your
Oh yeah,
average
my
age is
team's young.
24. Yeah, you got just a bunch of boys on your team.
I think I'd probably definitely have the lowest out of that, out of everybody
Yeah,
here.
the person that's in second would be. Wow, there's a couple people that have. Tyler Buckley. He's at 24.7.
Okay, okay. Show chat. It says you said you posted it in here.
Yeah, you should be able to use that analyzer.
I'm not seeing it. It's like cutting off half my shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it after the video.
There you go.
Cause that could be useful in the future. Ugh, ow, these
Yeah, it
glasses
says
are
your
hurting
team
me.
is says contender tier. You're rebuilding.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm only 1 year out. Like my team's legit. Like like I said, I could contend. It's possible, but
Yeah.
not likely to be a championship team. So that's yeah. But let's go on to your team and if you want to discuss your team here, where do we leave off with you? Stafford.
Xavier.
Yeah, Leggett
Xavier
was your next
Leggett.
guy.
Yeah, I guess I picked Leggett because he's a rookie and he'll probably be their number one for a while. I got Mostert basically for a backup running back when he was a top 10 running back last year, so that's good at the 12th spot. Kind of wanted to make sure that my tight end future was locked up and likely. Um, Spencer Rattler. This is probably the best late pick that I like is Luke McCaffrey.
I like Luke McCaffrey. It's a good one.
Tyler Algier, just in case Bijan gets hurt.
Yeah,
Rashid Shaheed.
I like
I
that one.
love Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, I like that
I
one
was
too. It's a
I
good
was
one.
part. I went around and with Dad, I was like, if Rashid drops to me, I'll be so
I'm getting.
happy. He didn't even make it out of that round.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh yeah.
if he made it to me and it was between him and Mims, I think I probably would have went. I would have went Shaheed. I probably would have.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
actually, over any of them, I would have went. Brandon Rice actually got drafted above him, which is crazy. Even
Yeah, I
McMillan got
mean,
drafted over him. I think I still some of these players
there's
like Wicks. I don't know, like.
Devontae Walker. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm good with that. I'll take it.
Yeah, you got a pretty dang good deal there. I like that pick.
Then I just went with Jaleel McLaughlin just to get a
Hell yeah.
cup.
I like him. That's my
Rashad,
boy.
Rashad Bateman ain't too bad. Tyler Boyd for a second receiver. Juwan Johnson just for more tight end. I really like Kenny Pickett where I got him, especially if Jalen
Kenny.
Hurts start.
Kenny. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty much.
he got weapons there if something did happen to Hurts, so.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, he's ass, but
And he's only there, what? I think he's only going to he's potentially only there for another year. So Kenny could end up going somewhere next year and potentially have us contend for a starting job.
yep.
You never know.
And then I got KJ Osborne, which is just another receiver for a terrible New England offense.
I heard good things
Darnell,
about KJ, though. I've been hearing good things.
oh, for sure. Darnell Washington, just because he's huge and you got youth on him. I think if Muth gets hurt, he'll be a good replacement. Um, Alec Pierce, another young guy. Kendrick Bourne. Yeah. Darius kind of, just filler for the end.
Yeah, that's really all. I mean, that's yeah. I even dropped like the dude. My last two were what? I don't even have
I
Booty
dropped my
anymore.
last picks already.
Yeah, I mean, they're really like, yeah. I did like
Occasional
Yeah,
I
it
did
games.
was.
like grabbing Gibson though. I did like doing that. I like him.
I was thinking that I was debating whether I should just drop my Belmont and take Gibson because they said he was maybe gonna still be in the 3 hole behind or in front of
Malachi.
Malachi Corley.
Yep, he's
So
already
I
been
was like,
showing out. So I'm liking
yeah, he
him.
looked pretty good. So I was thinking about it, but I stayed with at least one Green Bay guy.
Yeah, I really like. Yeah, I like the potential of Trey Tucker, Gibson. I like those two guys a lot.
Yeah, if they didn't trade for Michael Gallup, I think I would have been higher on Trey Tucker. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
but
out
I'm
for
not
a
too
minute in the
concerned
other
about.
league,
I'm not too concerned about Gallup being in Tucker's role.
no. Plus, I think Bowers too. I think like those guys, and then you're not really giving Trey Tucker like that
Because
much.
Tucker's another one I've been hearing a lot about in the off season.
Yeah, he's. So I liked him at first in the other league, but I kind of went more running back youth and had to cut a spot, so I cut him.
And at this point, really, Dan, your team is projected as far as points goes to be the best.
Yeah, I
Because I
mean,
think what you sit at 140 right now. I think projected for the first game.
yeah, something like that. I know that like whenever a few calculators have me like having a whole game on the league point wise.
Yeah, see, you're projected for 148 right here against Bolieve. And
So
yeah,
not bad.
your current starting lineup: be Goff, McCaffrey, Williams, Chase, Adams, Goddard, Moore, Mixon, Tank Dell, Stafford, which pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, I love the 12 spot because you could just pick and choose what comes to you at that point.
Yep, and the back-to-backs are always fucking hella sweet. But all right, I'm pretty happy with my team. I'm assuming you guys are pretty happy with yours.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
I think that we're all happy based on the strategies that we went.
Yep.
But I think you're projected to have like the best franchise overall in the future.
For sure. That's why, yeah, boy.
I threw my game plan of how I was gonna
Yeah.
draft out of the window in like the second round. It
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
Once all those running backs started going, I'm like, well, time to switch shit up.
Yeah, like I was ready to
Yeah.
take a quarterback and then let's like 5 receivers. I didn't take a receiver until like the fourth round at that point.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of it's tricky because you don't want to jump too soon on shit and then you lose out like and then because you could just draft someone who may be the same value later and then you just screw yourself because you could have got this guy instead. And with Dynasty, you can always make moves later. Like that's really like if you want to draft a guy like if you drafted Pittman and then now like if you want to trade him away, you can trade him away for something else.
Yeah, it's possible. Like I said, I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like maybe looking at
No, I'd probably sit
the
where I would if I was you,
1
maybe even see about adding something.
I'll see. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry. And I don't like. I'm just like throwing picks out the window left and right. So
Oh, see,
I
I don't
think
give a shit. I'm making moves. Like if I can make moves, like I already I already sold Hollywood. I was ready to sell that motherfucker. Like
yeah,
I wasn't ready to sell him. It was between I was just looking to get rid of like one of the wide receivers I had, like Samuel Dotson, Hollywood. Like I would have preferred to get rid of Hollywood just because he has the most value right now. And I
Yeah.
did, so yeah.
yeah. I think he ended up sending me the same offer, and I was like, I don't know if I would give up a first
Yeah,
round
you
pick
didn't want to
for
do it. You didn't want to do it.
Hollywood. I
Someone
was like,
else, I think said they didn't want to do it either, or something like that. And then that's when I sent uh the Chance dude. I ended up sending him. I think it was the same offer, pretty much. I think except I added that $10 fab to it.
That'll do it.
I was like, I was like, hey, because I know the value wasn't like that's pretty close value for what Hollywood's worth. Like, because I think he's a little bit more valued than like I think an early second or something like that.
Yeah, like it just depends on who you are. Like if you're trying to win, like of course I'm trying to get even pay overpay for a little bit for a wide receiver or somebody that's helping win now. So I get that.
No, and
If
if
you're
you're
in that
gonna pay
mindset,
for someone, it's like if you can get a top 2 guy, like if Hollywood ends up being the top 2 guy for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's gonna be totally worth it.
yeah. Like I'm
And they've
saying, like
already been building chemistry. I've already seen and heard like multiple things about them having a connection. So,
yeah. I'm
but
not
yeah, I
gonna
threw the extra
press.
$10 fab. I'm like, well, since the other offer didn't really get accepted, I was like, because I know you were saying you were kind of like, I don't know if I want to make the move. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna send the same offer, except I'm gonna add $10 fab, make it look a little more pretty.
Make it look more pretty.
$1, Bob.
Hey, you never know that $10 fab ends up coming in handy. I know last year like there was times where I wished like I had just a little bit more fab.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
So
You get some. You could get some maybe like freaking You get a free puppy. Complete a free star like Aaron Williams.
you
Uh,
never know like that because there was times where I think someone I know I spent way too. I actually no, that wasn't what it was. I think it was at the end of the year. Someone fucking ended up getting a quarterback or something, and I didn't have because I didn't have enough fab for it. I think it was fuck. Was it Zach? I think it might have been Zach. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
good start to the season. Uh, football's not too far away.
give it a month. We got some
Yeah,
preseason games.
hell yeah, dude. It's gonna
1
be
month
hyped.
till I get to watch men run into other men at full speed.
I
Fuck
can't
yeah.
wait. College football comes out next week with their games. I'm
Go.
gonna be playing all the hell out of that.
I'm so psyched. Yes, NCAA finally back after all these years. And we're old as shit, so we definitely remember those other NCAA games.
I played NCAA 04
Yeah,
on the
dude.
PlayStation 2 for 10 years.
Frick yeah,
I love
dude.
that game.
And
I'm
even the
trying to take
college
some.
basketball, dude, like even the like it reminds me of like the college basketball games too, like just how long like ago those games were and oh man. They were so good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna definitely play for some random ass school.
Dude,
That
I
like
was talking to
nobody
Brown
cares
about it. If
about.
we get if we get people together, because I'm assuming by now there has to be cross gen.
I'm
You'd
not
imagine there'd have to be.
100% sure. Let me look it up. Y'all keep talking. I'm looking it up for you.
Because even if like if like say one or two of us have like PlayStation, I don't have the Xbox, but yeah, we could do a Dynasty or whatever the hell they do on there. That'd be sweet.
I'm dumb.
Because
I'll be playing
as soon as I get paid
CMPC.
Friday, I'm getting that shit. I'm probably even gonna get it before that because like after midnight or something, I'll be like, you know what? I could probably put a charge on there. And just have the money come in at 4 a.m. and be like, have the game already downloaded and ready for me after work. Yeah, dude, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
I'm so excited for it.
And then get Madden 2 and have that whole thing where you bring your character over to Madden. Dude, that shit was, oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I come out of like Akron or somewhere real fucking terrible.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the best thing about that game though, is building up like the like lower schools and shit. I love doing that. Like
Yeah, like,
I
I'm
remember for the
looking
NCAA basketball games, like I used to pick like Richmond or some shit. Yeah,
like.
like that shit's fun as hell to build up those lower schools. It's so much fun because it's actually a challenge then, you know?
For sure. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Georgia State.
Yeah, that would be another one too. I remember using them once. Holy shit. Wow. Oh
I
man.
would do Dynasty. I would win the national championship every year. The best running back
We
in
should
the
only
nation.
play in this. We should only play with teams from the Sun Belt League.
Dude, I'd be down. I'd
Oh,
totally
that'd
be
be
down for that shit.
sick.
Swear. Like, do you have Xbox? You have
I
PlayStation?
have PS5.
Ah, fucker.
I'm also PS5. It is so
You fuckers in
crossplay.
your PlayStation.
It's better. Get with it.
I know. I should. I
Crossplay
really do want
is
a PlayStation though.
you can't play cross-platform for Road to the College Football
You
Playoff.
can't.
You can.
Okay.
You can do it for Road to the College Football Playoff, College Football Ultimate Team, and Play a Friend. So you can play each other. But I think online Dynasty doesn't support that. You
Ah,
have to do
so
all on the same
ass.
console. So get
Damn
yourself
it.
a PlayStation, bro, and we can play.
Road to the playoffs. What's that? Just a playoff thing?
It's probably like a playoff thing.
Yeah, just a limited
like
thing you can do. I mean, that would still be
But-
fun though, I guess, for like a little short thing. But
Yeah,
it
we'll
wouldn't
figure
be like like you said, a dynasty and whole involved thing, which kind of sucks because that would be super fun. Fuck, I need to get a PlayStation.
Yeah, man.
Go to Walmart and just pick one.
I'm gonna go get that GameStop credit card they were trying to give me the other day and be like, yeah, charge that PlayStation.
Just exchange your Xbox for a PlayStation.
I sold the Switch already. I didn't want to sell it, but I kind of needed the money. But I have the Xbox Series S, which isn't the X, or I have the X or whatever is the downloadable one only. So it's not even that good at like the better one. So I won't get that much money for it.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it'd be better just to keep it. And I would want to keep it because I love my Xbox. But I have been wanting a PlayStation for a while. And maybe this is what gets me to get it. I don't know. But yeah, let's wrap this up. I'm gonna anybody else got something to say before we wrap this up, meow?
Nah, I mean, I'm just excited.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be a good one.
Ready for
But yeah.
some football.
If anybody watches this, thank you for doing so. You are fantastic. Oh shit, my freaking streak for Duolingo is almost up. Ah! Alright.
All right, y'all. Always fun.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Anybody who's watching this or supporting us, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I need to start doing more for. We'll start doing more for this and get this back going because we were doing a shit ton there and then but that's kind of my fault.
No, people get busy, dude. It's just life.
We always busy. Man. We'll figure it out. We'll find some days.
Hell yeah.
Once the season gets ramped up, we'll be more.
Well, I'm pretty much
motivated.
free all this weekend, so if you guys even want to do another one tomorrow or Sunday, shit.
I'm good Sunday. Tomorrow I'm a little busy.
Cool. I'm fine with
Sunday.
Sunday.
I couldn't. Sunday, I will. I'll hit y'all back. I'll see.
Cool. All right. Well, then we might have another video coming out soon then.
Cool.
All righty.
All right, boys.
Y'all take it easy.
Have a good one.
You too.
Deuces.
Bye.
Peace.